Alright, welcome back into this game. We don't have anywhere else for you to go, so let's rest a little bit. I leave Dakota's apartment as soon as the sun goes down. Yesterday was fun, but I always feel a little nervous when I spend too much time with her. She never lets me escape from being the center of attention. It's exhausting. At least, the last time I spent with her, the happier she is to see me again. It is a tricky act to balance, though. I am grateful for her presence in my life, but never mind. What's on my list of chores tonight? Ah, yes. Only one thing. Don't show up for the party at the art hall. Well, this is a rare night when I don't have anything to do. Might as well take a trip around the city and see what's up. And maybe fix myself a little drink while I'm at it. So we have two options here. A walk in the park, breaking the habit. How about this? What was I thinking? I mean, even the most hopeless introverts yearn for company every now and then, be it the company of someone they know or a total stranger, revealing themselves to be the soulmate they have always sought. Even for someone as neurotic as me, there's something enthralling in the idea of briefly trading your individualisms for a place in the crowd. You can just wander around and stare like a peeping Tom, hidden in plain sight. If there's anything missing from the show of my previous social life, it's that intangible sensation, being a part of a living mass. But really, Coney Island, of all place? What was I thinking? Surely it's my ID finally revealing what I've been missing all along. All my sick soul really wanted was to nibble on a Williams caramel apple while taking an overpriced Wonder Wheel ride. Well, I'm here. Might as well try at least one of those tourist traps. Thunderbolt, Spookorama? Yeah, how about this? A goofy-looking rubber cyclops hanging over the entrance to the haunted house has a somewhat cheap but inviting appearance. I pay for the ticket in hope of seeing more of this sort of kitsch. I don't stick around until the end and storm out through the emergency exit. Jesus, I drank a rat's blood once, lost the ability to use modern technology, and with all that in mind, I still consider this to be the worst experience yet. Not that I expected anything else, but still, I'm not sure what I was hoping for. Amidst a cloud of cigarette smoke, I noticed an old woman perched silently by the wall. She looks like one giant wrinkle, but her gaze is lively and pierced right through me. I pulled the crumpled package out my back pocket. My last smoke. As I raised the lighter, some pompous dick, preoccupied with his visibly bored girlfriend, shoves the cigarette out of my hand. Somehow it is his half-assed apology that pissed me off the most. The urge to drink him dry is strong, but I let it pass. I look beneath my feet. I can hear the old crone cackling as my cigarette sinks into the only puddle in the vicinity. Fuck! I turned toward the exit and noticed some brawny dude closing in on me. The way he's dressed has the same uncanny aura as Steve Buscemi walking through a high school corridor in a skater outfit. Except that Steve Buscemi is 1,000 times cooler than this guy. He gets right in my face and hands me a cigarette, pulling up a rather annoying smirk. Having a bad night, sweetheart? It was fine up to this point. It was fine until you came along. He completely disregards my reluctance and starts waving his hands erratically like a second-hand mime. That's a shame, but hey, you seem like a girl who likes to have fun. I know these things. I have something here, just for you. Wanna check it out? Throughout this bizarre peacock dance, his colorful wristband pops up from behind his sleeve. Shit, man, how close can you be? Is this a hidden camera show? Or maybe it's just some newbie being hazed by the rest of your undercover unit? Fake curiosity. He really thinks I'll take the bait? Unbelievable. Okay, smartass, you're on. Well, what did you say? Keep talking. Why won't you follow me to my stash? I've got dope. Wow, just wow. Let me stop you right there, Tony Montana. Less than 10 seconds and you rush straight to the finish line? Also dope? You poor soul. You're out of your depth. Who put you up to this? I seem to have struck a nerve and he doesn't know how to handle it. Come on, big guy. Just give me a reason. Well, fuck you too, bitch. Now that's just rude and begs for a reaction. Dominate, scare the haunted house visitors. Drop your act for everyone else to see. No. You don't want everyone to see you for who you are. Just walk away. He might not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but he's probably not alone. I'm sure I could take him and his pig friends. But I don't feel like getting tased in the face tonight. Would a taser even work on me? This might not be the right time to find out. Right now it's time to leave this shit show behind. Goodbye, officer. Guess that's enough human interaction for one night. Once more to Big Beat Burger. Into the last fast food joint I ever know. I have the usual. The first time I used this line, I wasn't sure it would work, but I have gained enough notoriety among the staff that it does. The cashier just smiles, nods, and charges me for one black coffee. I can't imagine them instructing the newbies. See that emo weirdo? Here's how it is. She always orders a single cup of coffee, nothing else. And she doesn't even drink it. Probably wouldn't take a single sip even if I was still alive. This stuff is just trash. But at least being a buying customer gives me an excuse to sit here for as long as I want to. I wish I could use one of those self-order kiosks to minimize human contact. The touch screens don't exactly like me. Not too long ago I managed to blue screen 10 of them in a row. Well, the good news is, it doesn't look like I have anything to do tonight. The bad news is, it's because every kindred who matters is having fun at the art hole right now. It's not like I wanted to go, I just wanted them to invite me so that I could tell them to fuck off. I scanned the entrance to the restaurant through my peripheral vision. Am I naively hoping someone will come and save me from misery? Guess I am. Please, please, please. Let somebody come and get me out of here. A prince. A princess. A knight in shining armor. A fairy godmother. A passing huntsman. Big bad wolf. Mila Jovovich, Vin Diesel, Azalea Banks. Hell, I'll take anyone at this point. Visualizing, tapping into the power of my subconscious, materializing my dreams. Nope, doesn't work. Looks like you are eternally stuck being a nobody in the corner of a shitty restaurant. Sweet little Julia. Life's a bitch, and you don't even die. I pretend to read a book about psychoanalysis I stole from Dakota for a while. Having found it too mentally taxing, I switched to pretending to read a Stephen King book, which I also stole from her. After the terrifying realization that it was written in the last 15 years, and therefore contains no amusing drug-out rants about troubled childhood in Maine, I switched back to looking at the entrance. That party must be so stuffy and trashy and boring. At this point, I'm no longer looking for salvation. I'm asking for amusement. And it doesn't come. All I get is boring bozos in norm-core clothes. They walk in, take care of their business without doing anything to amuse me, and walk out. A few minutes after I lose all hope, a tall, elegant man marches in, with a spring in his step. He looks around, impatient, irritated. Then, he noticed the person he was looking for and reacts with visible relief. He gallantly approached my table, looks at me and says, "There you are. Now that's curious. You shouldn't be here." Big Bad Wolf. Careful, everyone. Big Bad Wolf is here. He will huff, and he will puff, and he will blow our house in. "Why are you stalking me, Wolf? I have you know I'm not falling for the grandma disguise ever again." My dumb attempt at self-amusement doesn't faze him at all. He doesn't even roll his eyes, just stares at me blankly. "Grab your stuff and get in my car. Now!" His tone leaves no room for doubt. Something bad has happened. I want to ask what, but whenever he's in his "I will simply ignore all the dumb shit you say" mode, I know better than to ask questions. Instead, I suddenly follow him to the exit. He guides me to his car. I just hope I haven't messed anything up again. I don't think I have. But have I? Kadir's car, as usual. He gave me the back seat. He's always uneasy when the passenger seat is taken. Doesn't anyone want to limit his peripheral visions, he says. Normally, I would catch him observing me in the rearview mirror. This time he's watching the streets, more tense than usual. Something must have caught him off guard. I've got my seatbelt on and my popcorn ready. What's up? The awkward silence feels like it will last forever. Eventually he finds the right words and speaks up. 6 weeks ago, the prince told me to parley with the anarchs in the dark, remember? Yeah, and you made me tag along so that I could learn something about politics. As it turned out, politics meant something awfully similar to watching my drunken family shout at each other at a wedding party. There was this man who didn't need to shout to make my blood boil. The meanest one in the room, their leader, white hair, a monocle, musty clothes. Boss Callahan, with his fucking Polak cunt. Scrooge, my god, yeah, how could I forget? A lot of panache, old-timey bravado, and gender insults flung my way. What was his name? Something British? Made me think of Hollywood. Callahan? Baron Callahan. Douglas Callahan. Right. It's 2020, but the man's opinions and ideas were stuck in 1920. Weren't the adults supposed to be the progressive option? I never understood why they put up with him. He has his ways of predicting which way the wind will blow. Anytime Camarilla or the SL hit the anarchs, it was the factions opposed to him that were hurt. The luckiest bastard in the world. Thought you didn't believe in luck? I don't, but it sure looks like his luck has finally run out tonight. Huh. Wait, don't tell me. We're going to kill him? So what he was saying is we are headed to his office to kill him? What? Just what? No, absolutely not. Looks like I missed a mark by a mile. Even if, and that's a big if, an idea like that wasn't completely opposed to everything Prince Panhard has been doing over the past few years. His tone sounds as if he was addressing a particularly dumb child. The worst part is I probably deserve it. There wouldn't be any need for that. The man has ceased to exist. Wait, he's dead? Deader than dead? I'm 99% sure the bastard met his final death. How do you know? We've got trustworthy source in the inner circles. Looks like all hell is about to break loose. There's an emergency meeting at the atoll. Jesus, and you're bringing me with you. Why? because you were on the way, because I could, because I should. You might not be important to the members of the court, but you are still an asset to the SAC. Symbolically, at least, I can justify sneaking you into the party clinics for your own protection. An unexpected alliance between Big Bad Wolf and poor Little Red Riding Hood. Speaking about Little Red Riding Hood, have you played Night of the Full Moon yet? Wait a minute, though, the party is still happening. I called the prince, told her the best course of action is stopping it, and start listing security protocols I have prepared for these sorts of situations. She interrupted me halfway through and told me we will discuss the subject face to face. Doesn't sound like she was interested. The party's that important, huh? Politics. Politics is that important. I don't know if he's trying to convince me or himself. And once again, politics sound an awful lot like a bunch of party-loving assholes shouting at each other. Don't worry, this isn't the kind of, how should I call it, governing issue that the likes of you and I tend to deal with. And how would you describe the governing issues we tend to deal with? Shoveling ourselves out of shit. As usual, he seems a little embarrassed for cussing, or for being too honest. Either way, it's cute. No argument here. And that's where the conversation ends. We stay silent as the car rides off toward the unknown. I'm not a New York City baron. The Baron of New York City, if you please. Once more, a memory of an old douchebag who thought he could rule the world crossed my mind. Well, it looks like the world has left him behind. Sayonara, asshole. And here I am, at the only place I didn't expect to visit tonight, the art hole. Guessing by the sounds, the inside seems lively. Even if they know it's an emergency, they simply don't care. What are you standing around for? You still need an invitation? No idea, do I? I think the bouncer will let you in. There's a bouncer? Yes, and he's standing right in front of you. Just start walking, whop. And here I am among partying elites. It's as stuffy and boring as I expect, but hey, at least it's exclusive. The title Panhard came up with for these yearly gathering is called Celebrations of Power, an invitation to re-examine the relationship between our undead bodies and the space they inhabit. The week-long event is packaged as a sort of performance art piece meant to make the kindred who are involved celebrate the potential instead of despairing at their monstrous nature. We need to counter-program the omnipresent image of tragic vampirism with image that remind us we have inherited the earth and are now free to remake it in our image. It's the way our prince puts it. To this end, she organized a series of exhibits, concerts, fireworks, parties, business meetings, etc., etc. Of course, the parties and business meetings are the most important. My prince, Kadir, finally. A sign with angelic wings, a holy patron of New York City. I take a good look around. Half of the figures here are dressed like they are attending a mass ball. The other half are religious figures, either demonic or saintly. I have to admit, I don't fully understand the theme here. I know Panhard based it on psychomagic, a sort of shamanic psychotherapy using the power of art. Simply put, it's a holy mass and unholy mass in equal measures, a set of rituals meant to make the participants wholeheartedly accept they're both the worst and the best this earth has to offer. Put on this mask, at the very least, you're standing out. Here. I heard the aesthetic basis for these parties is a black mask in the film, eyes wide shut. Something this decision means Panhard is tone deaf, but it's quite the contrary. She knows that anarchs are constantly looking for ways to undermine her through art and rhetoric that point out glaring contradictions in her theoretically benevolent rule. But instead of denying and suppressing aesthetics designed to criticize the elites, she embraced them. Instead of risking a straightened effect, she effectively defangs the opposition. The resistance becomes a part of the system, and both the Camarilla and the anarchs get the same message. Don't think of it as a pathology. Think of it as the new normal. I collect the key advisors. They have already been told to come here. I don't think there's a need for us to hold the meeting in a particularly secluded place. We just do it over there. Are you certain? Absolutely. Wait, is that Miss Sawinski I see behind you? I'm afraid so. I collected her on my way here because of her role as a La Sombra representative. Just a political hostage. You people have made it perfectly clear what's gonna happen with my parents back in Chicago if I go against you. I realized she might become a target and decided to hide her at the auto. Putting all my eggs in one basket will make my job easier. I will look for a safe place for her to spend the night. Let us stay with you for now, our asthma. Time is of the essence. I didn't notice him sneak up on us. Nice get up. Are you absolutely sure? But of course. Everything we say here is going to become an open secret in a matter of minutes. Prince Panhard has already come up with the appropriate messaging. Out of the corner of my eye, I spot an elderly vampire guiding a young, fashionable human girl toward the basement. Led like a lamb to the slaughter. That's not the thing to diddle about what's going on underneath this place. Before everyone gets here, I would like to secure the perimeter. Easy now, I asked, man. All the appropriate security protocols for you are already active. Me and the prince have already pulled some strings as well. The situation is mostly under control. Mostly under control. Never let anyone sleep any easier. I'll ask my. I know that as the prince's word, you're aching for blood. But you have to accept that like most weapons known to man, you're most effective hidden in the sheet. Listen here now. Looks like a fascinating philosophical discussion in the making, but sadly, I'm forced to interrupt it. Prince Panhard. All of a sudden, Samira appears between the two men. Her calm and collected voice completely changing the atmosphere. As expected for a self-professor protector of the peace. Samira, I hope you're enjoying yourself. To be quite honest, I feel out of place. She nods and smiles at me, probably to signal she takes solace in not being the only person in the room who feels like a fish out of water. Especially now, seeing as I heard this meeting is meant for those of greater stature than mine. Nonsense, we have a delicate matter to discuss, one that might require severe judgment down the road. I think you understand why I wish for a child Hakim to be involved. Of course, what is with that expression on your face, Kadir? He quickly collects himself. Look who's joining us. The High Ragan of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs. Lady Aisling Stubbridge walks up to our group in an outfit I would have never imagined her in, pretending everything is par for the course. Prince Panhard, the Sheriff, the Hobby, the Banu Hakim Primogen. I was still waiting for someone. He's almost here. Shining even more brightly than usual, Aisling. I adore your outfit, Samira. Wish the prince allowed the same amount of effort for me. I, for one, am glad she did, and I particularly love those horns. Thank you for reminding me. I put them on at the prince's behest, but I believe she has had more than enough fun. No, not yet. Oh, well. This would do for now, but you're not off the hook yet. I paid a costly price to see you like this. Both courteous and the prince's voice are strained whenever they attempt humor. Their minds are obviously elsewhere, and it's not a happy place. Arturo, on the other hand, seems calm. We all celebrate our power in different ways, I suppose. Now, what's this about? Just a moment, over here. Addison. The Camarille's infamous spokesman approached, pushed towards us in a wheelchair by his servant. Howling. Everyone. I certainly hope this is something important. What a commanding tone, seeing as Payne can't communicate normally. His servant relays his word to us instead, and his posh ends not be enough to make me believe I'm listening to his master voice. Carter won't be joining us. He gave me fair warning he might not make it tonight. I have messaged him the details. I have to find time to meet him later then. Finding time, searching for lost time. I swear it's all I do nowadays. And there's never enough. I guess now you understand why I insisted that this event must last all week. So many esteemed guests, many of them from out of town, each deserving at least a few hours. The figure in the wheelchair waves his hand impatiently. Yes, yes. Let's just cut to the chase now, shall we? That might be the wisest course of action, my prince. Arturo, my prince, everyone, let me begin by stressing these important points. The situation is largely under control. The negotiations are underway and the situation is more tense than dangerous. We are safe. Let me repeat, we are safe. And with that out of the way, here's the big news. Baron Callahan, de facto leader of Arnax in New York City, met his final death in his office tonight. How did you find out? We have a good friend near his office. The intel is as accurate as it gets. We've also established a negotiation channel with the Arnax. They gave us all the confirmations we need. Was our court involved in his destruction? I look at her in disbelief, so does everyone else. Not that the same thought hasn't passed through my head, but to simply exclaim it like that? Oh, spare me the virtue signaling. I thought we were being transparent here. I don't give a damn whether it took care of Callan or not. I just want to have a clear idea of what I'm dealing with. Yes, a clear answer. I need that too. To my knowledge, none of us present here ordered his destruction. Nor did we participate in it, unless someone wants to confess. It's now or never. Of course, nobody speaks up. Arturo pretends to clear his throat. That's our official position as well. The Camarille's ruling body had nothing to do with it. And for all intents and purposes, his honor contenders had more interest in removing him than we did. That interest is sure to manifest in one way now. His former enemies will prop him up as a martyr for the cause. Yes, which is why we sadly can't just leave the honors to their own device. As much as we would like to avoid recognizing their sect in any way, we have offered to assist them in an official investigation. Addison's pained, wrinkled face contorts slightly. Let me just ask you one question. You do realize those curs have no respect for our traditions, yes? We do, Addison. But as a veteran politician, you should be deeply familiar with the words control opposition. Yes, for now it's impossible to fully contain the honor threat in New York. For now, our only option is to prop up a candidate who will offer the least resistance to our future plans for the city. We extend our hand to the most promising contender, giving him a way to present himself as a diplomat, a man of reasonable compromise. The rabble falls in line. The purists grow angry and alienate. We have already contacted the best possible person in their sect. He will oversee the investigation, and it's in his best interest to show he's able to resolve the situation calmly. Is that good enough? Addison ponders the questions for a while, then waves his hand again. It is. Proceed. Funny thing, nobody's paying any attention to me right now. Keep in mind, Mr. Payne, our man's people will still barely tolerate us, and the situation is volatile. The other factions within that, sorry, excuse for a sec, might still try to escalate the conflict. I will do my best to solve this situation as fast as possible. How so? Kadir is momentarily taken aback by Artura's questions. I volunteer to coordinate the case with the Anarchs, of course. I refuse. You have more important duties to focus on. Once more, Kadir is done. All due respect, Prince, but if you don't consider me capable of tackling this issue and attending to my usual duties at the same time, I think you gravely underestimate me. Your passion for working yourself to the bone is well known and appreciated by everyone in this room, Sheriff. But so is your professionalism. If we do grant your wish and let you investigate while still fulfilling your routine obligations, can you guarantee you're going to give both these tasks your best? I can guarantee something very close to my best. Close to your best doesn't cut it our asthma, not when the vultures are out in force. Carlin's destruction is sure to cause unrest among the Anarchs, and there's an obvious outlet for their pent-up rage. I want to make this perfectly clear. The celebrations will continue as planned, no matter what. This is why your presence here is absolutely necessary, Sheriff. We rely on your constant protection. Of course, my prince. We must be on constant vigil for a few days. Our ultimate words must be constantly pointed at the enemies surrounding us. The timing of the Baron's destruction is impeccable. The Anarch leaders are sure to point at us and claim we have shamelessly celebrated his end. Does anybody believe it's just a coincidence? Murders are messy, almost as messy as politics. It's impossible to reliably predict the outcome of any violent action. I think it'll be wise of us to brace for a lot of unfortunate coincidences, Aisling. In any case, the rabble can't get the impression that their power struggles are of great concern to us. But they also can't think we have something to hide. Which brings me to my point. We do need a symbolic gesture, one displaying expertly measured intensity. My best bet is a humble diplomatic envoy, a low-level official acting as an investigator of sorts. I implore you, Prince. Yeah, this is where you come in, Julia. This is where you come in. Kadir. He bites his tongue and struggles to collect himself. I rarely see him lose his temper. At least when the Camarilla is involved. What's going on? I wonder about your suggestions for this role. After all, it's not particularly prestigious, but carries a lot of responsibility. We're still talking about a Camarilla representative. Oh, I think there's a very obvious candidate. Both he and Kadir look at me simultaneously. Everyone else in the room does too. Now, wait a second. He can't possibly mean... Miss Julia, once again, your full name eludes me at the moment. Am I allowed to speak? Or maybe I should wait for permission before I make up my mind. The sheriff sighs stiffly and speaks up. Sawinski. Miss Julia Sawinski, right. I understand you used to be an investigative journalist before your embrace. That was a long time ago. In a life I don't want to revisit. I understand, still. Among others, the Banu Hakim Primogen insisted that you are worthy of greater privilege and should be given a chance to prove yourself. Samira matches Arturo with suspicion. Yes. Do you still think she's capable? She looks me deep in the eye. That's why she's telepathically trying to tell me, please, 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 don't fuck this up, you damn-ass little white girl. Of course. Good. And I'm sure that you, our Asma, have no problem with your protege embarking on these missions. save for the pain a mother feels when watching her child leave the nest. Whether I do or don't is not particularly important right now, is it? It absolutely is. Panic backing up Arturo's momentarily blindsides him. Prince Panic, if Arturo's plan is reckless, I want you to tell me. I need a simple yes or no answer. Is the girl capable? Now he knows he's left with no choice. I wouldn't entrust her with all the responsibilities that I have if she wasn't. He exchanged glance with me, but his look is different than Samira's. It's as if he's trying to apologize to me. Here we are then. A recommendation from the Banu Hakim Primogene and the Sheriff. To tell you the truth, I was just throwing out ideas, but with this backing, I can't doubt the Knight clan's representative will get the job done. I'm certain each of us feels the same, Mr. Payne. The atmosphere in the room mostly suggests people are glad they don't have to discuss the topic further. A shrug here, an averted gaze there. Yep, they're just looking for a fucking sheep. And you are that sheep, Miss Julia. Someone that can throw all of the, unwanted consequence to, and let you have to deal with all of that shit yourself. God. It is as you say. I will watch the way she handles this situation with great interest. Well then, Mr. Winsky, looks like you've got your chance for a big break. I have conditions. Big break doesn't mean much by itself. All I say is a big responsibility being placed on my shoulders. What do I stand to gain here, exactly? Even though I would normally jump at the chance to be useful, I play it cool. All of a sudden, not only everyone acknowledges my existence, but believes I can handle solving a tense criminal case. If something seems too good to be true, let's not be vulgar now. You stand to improve your standing at the court. Yes, we can discuss the particulars based on your performance. Yeah, they don't plan on giving me shit figures. It's not like I can refuse, but this is something I need to take into account while taking care of this case. I need a bargaining position if I want to get anything out of this. Yeah, I'll do it. Just point me in the right direction and tell me what to do. Excellent. That leaves us with only one more matter, which I hope we can agree on. Prince Panner signals someone with a hand. The figure emerged from behind the corner. Good evening. Catherine, what a pleasant surprise. Nobody informed us you're in town. Addison, looking healthier than ever. And what does Wheezy have to do with it? We need an impartial observer who everyone respects. And as it happens, Catherine always knew how to make friends on both sides without angering either. I beg to differ. I'd be grateful if just for once you decide against throwing attention about me, High Regent. A painful grimace crossed Aislinn's face, but she's quick to interpret the tone as an invitation to a game she can't possibly win. As long as she can prove herself useful to the proceedings in some way. If half of what I heard about her from Mr. Van der Weyden is true, she should be able to. And what did poor Carter say about me this time? Nothing specific. One always has to read between the lines with him, but it was mostly envy. Miss Weasley gracefully agreed to mediate between the Honor representative and the Sombra representative, ensuring mutual cooperation and mitigating potential conflicts. That felt like a Freudian slip. The Sombra representative, not Camarilla representative. I.e. someone who can be catapulted from the set without much damage to the avatar if they mess up. Is a meeting set up? Arturo looks at the clock on the other side of the room. In less than an hour. You better hurry then. What the hell? All this is happening so fast. If the situation is indeed under control, I will drive her and oversee the situation. Out of questions. You've got your orders, Sheriff. Attend to those. You fool, the girl needs guidance. And we need yours. Nobody knows what might happen next. But it's not as if the Arnarchs have a lot of love for you, ask me. You are too efficient in your duties for them to tolerate you. Better spend Miss Zawinski's having them see you two together. Do you think my guidance of Julia would be lacking, Kadir? I never said that. So do you have any objections to putting her under my care? He lowers his gaze but seems reassured. None whatsoever. That's all I need to hear. We'll be going then. Wasting no time as usual, I see. Have you at least tried the aperitifs? Waiting is an old person's game, Helen. And I still feel young. Remember, if there's anything you need help with. Probably not, but I appreciate the thought nevertheless. Have a great night, everyone. I'll catch up with you later, Addison. I certainly hope you do. And so, we leave. In a rush. Funny, considering what she told me about being in a hurry yesterday. Whew. Well, here. She thanks the chauffeur and lets me out of the car into a quiet neighborhood, somewhere in the Queens. Seemed like you were in a rush. I couldn't stand the crowd. She's honest. Probably performatively so, just to get into my good grace while I was walking. And why is that? In my experience, gatherings like those always enable a boring backpack mentality. All the familiar lies we tell ourselves to justify lusting for more. Repeated ad nauseum. What lies are you telling yourself? Her aura immediately turns colder. You have bigger issue to worry about, sweetheart. Oh well, at least now I know how familiar I can get with her. That I do. Back at the art hall, you said something about guiding me, but I have zero idea what to do. None whatsoever. I had a few necessary arrangements to make over the phone before we got here, to ensure your pretty little head stays attached to your neck. For now, anyway. I am grateful, but I still feel way out of my depth. I need to know what to do. You used to make a living as an investigative journalist, did you not? Investigate the murder. In TV shows, when an investigative journalist gets too close to the heart of a politically incendiary case, it rarely goes well. A cat's head on their porch, a bullet to the head. So are you afraid you might be a pawn in a game you don't understand? That your elders consider you a disposable asset? That a single wrong move might cost you everything you hold dear? That sounds about right, yeah. Well, by the sound of it, you understand your situation perfectly. Don't belittle me. I need your advice. Be anything you want, but don't be boring, Julia. If I wanted to belittle you, I would have drowned you in platitudes long ago. Know thyself. Believe in your strength. Trust no one. Act confident. Turn the chessboard around and read your opponent's mind. Read Sanju and quote him incessantly. Say, do you feel any better now? Can I ask you something? Seeing as Mia is still not here, of course. Do you know who killed Baron Callahan? I haven't the slightest idea. Were you emotionally impacted by his death? Not at all. Did you know him? Only passingly, I'm afraid. I expected him to perish sooner than later, so I never bothered to improve our relationship. Why are you helping me? Am I? That remains to be seen. What do you mean? You do not want a painful, honest answer, but I do. She stares me down. Her irreverent tone makes it impossible to guess what she's feeling, even more so than the mask. When I look at you, I see someone pitiful, someone whose hunger is purely biological, just an animalistic rush. When I saw a burgeoning plan to put you in a situation that is way beyond your capabilities, I offered my help. I was curious to see your true colors reveal themselves firsthand. When everything is said and done and Callahan's kill is pointed out, will you be a whimpering animal or a victor taking the spoils? I cannot wait to find out. I don't know what to say. Is she provoking me, or Mia should be here any second? You have time for one more question. Who is Mia? Why do you hide your face? I hope I'm not being rude, but is there a reason you keep your face hidden? Yes, there's a reason, and yes, you are being rude. Sorry, just curious. I understand, but let's just say I prefer everyone to come up with their own theories. The more stories they will invent, the less relevant the truth will be. But anyway, here's Mia. A woman around my age emerged from around the corner of the street. I've never met her before, but if I had to describe her in 2 words by her aura alone, I would guess those words would be permanently angry. Even more so than your average honor. You must be Catherine Vesey. And you must be Mia Morgan. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. The pleasure is mutual. This your girl, Julia Zawinski, the La Sombra Primogen. The La Sombra representative. I correct her automatically. At this point, it's a habit. Good. If you were a Primogen, I might have tried to kill you here and now. Is Talk still on the site? Nah, I told him I'll take it from here. By the end of tonight, he needs to look like a natural candidate for the lead of the NYC Monarchs. It's gonna take a lot of driving around in the negotiations. How did he react to finding Callahan's remains? He hasn't exactly elaborated on his feelings, but I expect he reacted the same way every true believer in the course did. It's this complicated mess of all the possible feelings under the moon. So he was the first one who to the murder side. Oh, so you're already calling it a murder side. Does the Avatar know something we don't? It's not the official position, but I expect a lot of them think his talk was due to benefit the most from the boss dead. And it sounds like he's quick to jump on new opportunities. You don't know him. Yes, but I would love to meet him and ask him some questions, especially if he was the one who found the body. Well, if you're meeting Talk at all, it won't be tonight. He's too busy. I was assigned to investigate. I won't be able to do it probably if I'm not able to question a key witness. I arranged for him to see you this week. This week? Aren't the tensions a little too high for delaying an investigation like this? Well, Talk's work is our best shot at making sure they won't get higher, so who fucking who? I'm his right-hand woman, though. You got any questions, direct them to me. Maybe the two you should just head to Callahan's office. The discussion here does not seem to be going in the right direction, nor in a particularly interesting one. You're not coming. Talk and you are not the only ones who have their work cut out for them tonight. I trust you can take it from here. And Mia, be easy on her. In slightly different circumstance, I expect the two of you would have ended up on the same side of the barricades. Take care. She heads back to her vehicle. Well, follow me. I'll show you this place. It's a 19th century style office. Classical, wooden, smelly. The stuffy air of books, old furniture and dust covers much of the fragrance of decay, but not all of it. This is the first time I have seen the remains of a vampire who has met his final death. I heard stories of really old kindred crumbling to dust, but that's an exaggeration. At least it didn't happen here. When kindred die, time catch up with them. If you off me right now, I would probably turn into an ugly, leaky corpse. But Callahan was well over a century old. It's like looking at a dapper mummy. A desiccated body in a heap of musty clothes. All that is left of the mighty boss Douglas Callahan, Anna Baron of New York City, if that's really him. Needless to say, it might be a little too hard to establish the time of death of the corpse, especially as his scalp doesn't have any obvious damage. What a great place to start. Have you already found anything suspicious? Nothing you don't see in front of you. This door is the only point of entry to the room, right? Yes, unless you count the windows, but nobody except for Callahan knew how to operate those, and they don't let air or light through. Metal blindness on the windows facing east, the only modern element of the room sticking out like a sore thumb. They look automated. Was the door open when Torque got here? Well, that's the one suspicious thing. It wasn't. It's as if Callan locked himself in from the inside. A closed room murder, huh? There's some glass scattered on the floor. I point at it. Could that be from the window? I check it from the outside. It's in perfect condition. So what's this glass? I have no idea. Why does it seem like she has her suspicions, but is remaining uncooperative just because? Oh, fuck off, Camarilla scum. I check the next point of interest, a wall safe. Surprisingly large. I play with the lock a bit. What's the combination? It's Callahan's. What makes you think I know? At least I try. A desk with nothing but an envelope on it. Nothing inside. I check all the drawers. Every single one has been thoroughly empty. I don't know what I expected. Is this how the Anarchs go around securing crime scenes? Were these empty before Torque arrived? I don't know, but I wouldn't accuse him of tampering with evidence if I were you. Well, thank you. The decor of the room is pretty minimal, so there's not a lot of points of interest that could illuminate the case. I start getting nervous. I point at the painting on the wall. Of course, you have no idea who that is. Callahan's ancestor, I guess. I'm out of ideas. Everything I look at feels like another dead end. I'm frustrated. I feel as if I failed this investigation before it has even started. There must be something more. I start walking around trying to find a single clue. Mia just watched me indifferently. Give me anything. Anything. God damn it. Anything. Any. A shadow blinks in and out of existence near Callahan's remains. I freeze in place. Are you trying to help me? What are you mumbling about? In case you miss it, I'm not particularly fond of your set. Doesn't seem like me to notice it. Give me just a moment more. She groans under her nose and goes back to messaging someone on her phone. Once she does, the shadow appears again. Once again, blink in, blink out. Could something be there? I approach the clothes and start searching them for a clue. Maybe they missed something. Getting desperate, huh? Just being thorough. We've searched the basket like 3 times. He had nothing of interest on him. How about this? A small card, barely noticeable, looking a bit like a shopping list. A shelf deep into an almost invisible hole in the fabric. I take it out and show it to Mia. Huh, you didn't plan that there, did you? No, did you? Shove off, what's on it? It's a list of 4 names. D'Angelo, Hope, Agatha, Tamika. Any idea what this is about? Beats me. She's lying, but I don't care. Tomorrow night I will meet up with Kadir and ask him to help me figure it out. Think I'm done here. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Guess she sees me as nothing more but an enemy agent. When will I get to meet with Torque? If, and that is a big if, he will agree to meet you on a 1-to-1 basis, Catherine will let you know. He probably won't let a loyal Camarilla lapdog like you see him through. see him without her oversight anyway. A Camarilla lapdog, huh? It's a risky play, of course, and might backfire. But maybe I would benefit if I put my loyalty to the court into questions. Nah, it's not worth it. Playing for both sides sounds like a recipe for trouble, just too risky and stressful. Pass. Trade update. How am I supposed to see her trade then? Loyal to the end. I don't think it's loyal to the end. It's thinking about your own fucking life before doing a risky choice. Making a risky choice. Being a double agent, yeah, that will mess you up real fast. I see. Well, have a good night. It's getting late or early, depending on how you look at it. Once I leave Callan's office, I head straight to Dakota's apartment. I try to sneak by to my bedroom, but she's up waiting for me. How was your night? Shit. Tomorrow. What happened? You look like something the cat dragged in. Tomorrow, I promise. But I'm worried. Don't be. Tomorrow. She gives me a concerned look, then closes her eyes, slumps her shoulders, and frowns. Alright. You're the best. I reach my pitch black room and throw myself on the bed. The responsibilities, the stakes, the way I always feel too slow to react promptly in these situations. I don't want to think. I want to turn off my brain. I want to drift into the void. Into the void. A walk in the park. You need to rest. I can hunt people here, but I can't do anything. I have to rest. You have received the first trait, some choice in the game, or pushed Julia towards different ways of thinking, which will have a lasting effect on her throughout the story. You will see a brief pop-up on the top of the screen anytime that you receive a new trait. You can always view any unlocked traits in the lock screen, access through the top left icon. Yeah, I think it's worth playing the game one more time to see what happens if you decide to go the other way, right? For now, we know the first trait we get is to decide to be a double agent or not. Remember that ruthlessness is a mark of a true La Sombra, but you might walk another path before reaching that destination. Always told you you would make it big. Get real, these assholes are just using me as a pawn in some stupid fourth-dimensional chess game. As opposed to just keeping you off the chessboard. Don't be a glass half-empty buzzkill. Watch them make me a scapegoat or something. That would be exciting. I could write a book about living with a 21st century Lee Harvey Oswald. Come on, don't even joke like that. I haven't killed anyone. Julia, honey. Neither did Oswald. Yeah, right. I keep forgetting. Stop wriggling or I mess your face up. Yeah, they're just looking for someone else to blame. Put all the blame on. And too bad for that guy. Sorry. I'm always obedient when she's busy working on my makeup. It's hard to take care of your appearance, especially your face, when you can't even see yourself in the mirror. Not that I have ever been particularly good at it, but Dakota doesn't seem to mind. I'm her goth dressed up doll. Her presence in my own life is one of the few good things that my sire provided for me before fucking off to Chicago. Normally I'd be told to find myself a ghoul, but many of our clan, myself included, find the idea of ghouls distasteful. We are cat people, not dark people. We don't want mindlessly faithful servants. We want companions who rely on us despite having, in theory, anyway, the free will not to. The kind of relationship I have with Dakota would normally be a breach of the Masquerade rules, but the rules are different for kindred who are Camarilla, adjacents, even losers like me. Simplifying here, but my sire made it clear that her child would not own slaves, and that was the end of the discussion. To be honest, I think the court mostly agreed to that request because they wanted one more thing to blackmail me with, just in case. What would you do in my place? If I had to investigate your elite's wrongdoings? Yeah, I would probably look for those rich fucks, pedophile rings. Look for the assholes who mention pizza suspiciously often. See who has powerful friends in Manhattan jails, stuff like that. Oh, come on. Nah, I'm serious. Search for the deep rot, and a lot of smaller crimes will get solved in the process. What is it with you and conspiracy theories? What do you mean? You just told me your boss are having eyes wide shut parties, and suddenly you don't believe in rich people's dead pedophile rings? I don't know. I don't know if I want to know. My point is, you act as if all the conspiracy theories are real. Like, you can't possibly believe all that shit. Half it doesn't even make sense. Well, you want an interesting answer or a real answer? The real answer should be the more interesting one. She removes her brush from my face to gather her thoughts. Everyone's lost nowadays. Just look at the world. It's drowning in facts that fail to cohere into a single convincing narrative or a story that resonates. The corporate media wants you to believe in empirical thinking, but it always fails to deliver moral or metaphysical truths, and the people desperately lack those. So what do? They turn to conspiracies, and suddenly they're able to navigate the world. And why is that? Because conspiracy theories give them emotional truths that serve as a compass. Is Bill Gates trying to insert satanic microchips into my body? Probably not. I hope not. Now, is he a terrible person? No idea, but there's ample evidence that might be the case. It's in his ruthless business strategies, the company he used to keep, the philosophies he follows. People look at him and they feel he's fishy. So when the media present him as a genius or a savior, and I post that he wants to put the mark of the beast in my body, they choose to believe me. Because it makes more emotional and metaphysical sense to them. And ultimately, that's what matters most. The end. Alright. You're just looking... Okay, this is deep. You're just looking for people to blame for all your problems in life, so that your life will have some sort of meanings. I understand. It's fucked up, but it's understandable. Nah, I don't buy it. Like at all, but since it's you saying it, I'll just say it's cute. Good enough for me. You came up with this monologue yourself? Oh no, I read it on Facebook. Oh, figures. But just to make sure vaccines are okay, well, as far as I know, they don't cause autism. Good to hear. Anywho, I'm done. You are the best. Yeah, considering how many times I've done makeup on a dead body, I probably have enough job experience to be a mortician by now. Now, that sounds like an exciting career, but in reality, it is probably the most boring thing under the sun. Yeah, unlike my corpse, talkative, pouty, and self-loathing. Shut up, this cactus will be living now. It's got a job to do. Go get them, tiger. first thing I need to do, meet up with Kadir tonight and report to him. I hope he knows how to guide me out of this mess. He should have time for me in an hour or two. In the meantime, I suppose it's time to find some, what's the most dehumanizing word I could use here? Nourishment. Kadir told me I need to quench my hunger less often if I didn't smoke. It kills you, he said, but to start killing itself, your organism must pretend it's alive, and that is a precious vita. But I love cigarettes. The way they smell, the way they burn, the hot ash falling from the top, the sound of the lighter, the way they kill you, of course. And I guess I need some tactile connection to who I was back when I was alive. Okay, New York City, guide my steps. Show me which one of your children I should bring up tonight. Holy shit, we have Diva's Delight. We have 3 people here for me to choose, but I only have time for one, right? A fitting name for a kiss addict, audacious enough to openly pitch a unique taste to those in the know. I'm not in a clubbing mood, but since I need to feed, might as well give that rumor a shot. I slap on the wrist. Samira is asking me to meet her. If not for the ongoing celebrations, the patricians would prove an odd choice for a secret rendezvous. He's hoping she can provide some useful insight into the case. Bunny as a reporter. The note left at my old dead drop point reads, Bunny as a reporter. Shit, could it be Woods? Long time no see. What does one do when the ghost of Christmas past knocks on her door? A slap on the wrist. I would love to meet up with Samira. Let's go. Let's do this. A clean-cut staff member, dressed in an impeccable company uniform, smiles at me as the elevator door opens. Good evening, ma'am. Meeting someone? I dismiss his question with an apathetic shrug. He sized me up for a brief moment, visibly questioning my fashion sense. However, his professional acumen quickly trumps his discontent. Very well, this way, please. And was his nouveaux rich seemed awfully starving for a garnet soup this late at night. The patricians is packed almost to the brim. The concierge points me over to the last vacant table, conveniently situated in the far-off corner of the main hall. I nestle in the chair, letting my elbows rest on the ornate tablecloth. Watch out, all oblivious white collars. There's a black widow in your midst. Well, I'm here. Might as well just kick back and die of boredom. Yeah. I really need something to occupy my mind. Have a smoke and examine the place, call the concierge, figure out why Samir asked you to come. Yeah, let's just have a smoke then. The pretentious atmosphere gradually begins to creep under my skin, straining my mind and dulling my awareness. I take a peek into my trusty medicine pack. 2 cancer sticks left. I casually light one, paying no mind to the scornful looks of nearby patrons. The aura enveloping this place is suffocating. Everyone here seems so incredibly toffee nosed, as if they were destined for greatness by sheer virtue of their birth. Airs and grace everywhere you look. An adorned hamster cage where everyone's trying either to suck up to their betters or get their ass kissed by overeager underlings. The fact that I find this so pathetic is probably part of the reason why I never amounted to anything. C'est la vie. As I take another whiff, I notice a well-groomed staff member. The manager, I guess, gazing at me from behind his horn rims. He's competent enough to keep up appearance, but can I tell he's on the warpath? I ball him out until he yields. Begrudgingly put out the cigarette. Give him the cold shoulder. You know what? There's something about this guy that rubs me the wrong way. I nonchalantly exhale clouds of smoke and return his menacing look. He just turned his back on me as if nothing happened. As I continue to scan my surroundings, I noticed the concierge answering a phone call and frantically jotting down a note. Good, get back to work, buddy. Just as the thought of leaving crossed my mind, he glanced at me briefly before hanging up. The concierge quickly closed in on me, dancing habitually between the tables, and addressed me before I could even utter a single word. Excuse me, man. Are you Mr. Sawinski's? By chance? As soon as I nod, he hands me a carefully folded memo and leaves. For how quickly he scribbled down, the note is impeccably calligraphed. It writes, "The manager of this establishment insulted the Camarille's authority with his negligence. Even though it's minor, his transgressions must be penalized. I would like you to assist me in this matter. Such a display of goodwill on your part would surely improve your standing with the higher ups. Choose an appropriate non-lethal punishment, as..." This is disappointing. It was a high order to expect any help with the investigation. I guess is that just another chore? The best I can hope for is that this really is just a friendly request and not a deliberate attempt to derail my work this early in the game. Damn it. Might as well get it done since I'm already here, so I can move on with more pressing stuff. I swiftly approached the manager and tapped him on the shoulder. He furrows his brow as soon as he noticed me. "I'm afraid I'm busy. One of the waiting staff should be able to. We have something to discuss. The VIP lounge now, if you please." His face loose color. Maybe it has dawned on him that I'm even paler than the other, more blue-blooded gas. He immediately becomes compliant as I escort him through a side door. The room isn't empty, but its guests are just leaving. Nobody pays me any attention. The manager is as polite as he can be as he sees the patients out, but I can see he's clearly losing his shit. He quietly asks one of his staff to give him 5 minutes in the lounge and giggling close the doors behind him. Then the pleading starts. "Listen, I know I screw up. I shouldn't have let him in. How could I know? He's not one of the proper clients. I don't give a... Listen, hey. I would never. I implore you. I have children, for Christ's sake. There must be something, an arrangement, a way to..." He just goes on as if I'm not even here. With each subsequent whimper, he becomes more and more irritating. Just shut up for a goddamn second. My outburst finally makes him hold his tongue. I light up the last cig, the package, and take a slow puff, trying to compose myself. "I have no use for your explanations and justifications. I don't know what sort of transgressions you have committed. I should never have let this sensory guy in. And truth be told, I don't give a shit. It will never happen again. I swear on my mother's grave. Just... I'm not that good at judge of character, but him pleading with his arms out really makes him look like the biblical wayward son, swearing to change his ways. Let him off with a warning? Lash out? Brand him. I grab his hand in a tight grip, palm up, and take a puff to rekindle the burning tip of my cigarette. He doesn't fight back. You and I both know they will want proof that I gave you a lesson you won't forget. So I hope you realize that this is mercy. I put my smoke out in the palm of his hand to the accompaniment of his muffled screams. His eyes become watery, but other than that, he takes it like a champ. If I have to come back to this shithole, the next one will go right here. I look him in the eye and crassly flick his eyelid before taking off. I didn't know I was capable of this sort of cruelty, but here we are. Karen warned me that our something in bloodline finds sniffling, wigglings detestable. Is that what triggered me? But that's a conundrum for another occasion. I did what I was asked, and I have sure as hell wasted enough time here. I should move on. Oh, I can still choose one now. Another one. Yeah, you need to drink her. You need some blood in you, otherwise you're going to get fucked up real hard. No blood, no matter how exquisite, it's worth suffering through this noise. Something terrible must have happened to the previous DJ. It had to be sudden and unexpected for them to hire this amateur under the wire. Zero ability to read the crowd, no sense of flow. As if that constant flashing wasn't migraine-inducing enough by itself. Not that I remember how an ordinary headache feels. I know the hunger though, which is why I'm here tonight. A purple-haired girl bumps into me, head down, tears flowing down her cheeks, hands trembling. As much as I understand it, I don't think it's the guy that at the turntables that made her like this. Woof. Oh, I'm so sorry. She boasts before I can say a single word. Well, who am I to blame her? A tactical retreat probably felt like a good idea. The trace of cheap booze in every potential vessel is faint but ever present. At this point, the smell is all I'm getting. Come to think of it, I can barely remember how alcohol tastes. Maybe I should remind myself. Nah, that's done. But the bar is pretty much free people at the moment. I get closer and take a peek at the drinks menu. These are some goofy fucking names, especially from a kindred's perspective. Order the Bloody Masquerade. Order the Vampiro. How about that? After a short while, the crackling of the ice cubes announced the arrival of the sparkling blend. The tall glass, garnished with an orange slice and chili pepper, contains enough fruit and juice to successfully mask the smell of tequila. Mazel tov. I chug it down in one go. It tastes like an awful mix of all kinds of net split soda, topped off with a hint of fermented cactus pop. Something tells me I'm gonna regret it soon. The music abruptly stops just as I step away from the bar. I can't see the booth, but the crowd's reaction tells me all I need to know. Looks like we have a new DJ. The vibe immediately improves. Hallelujah! But pleasant moments never last. Some well-worn dude on the wrong side of 40 decides to hit me up. Eyes me for a brief moment. Slightly too late for me to outmaneuver him. Strangely, there's no lust in his gaze, and yet he seems like a predator closing in on his prey. Shit. Could it be the aroma Diva's delight, a kiss addict clocking me as a bloodsucker? How come you're here all alone, sweetheart? I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but there's something irksome in the way he carries himself. As he approached me, I began to feel fatigue, like there was a sudden drop in atmospheric pressure. Glare until he goes away. I give him a poorly hateful glare, but I find it weirdly strenuous to keep my eyes on him for longer than a few seconds. There's something about him that ruins the little composure I have, and I think he knows that. I feel spiders crawling up on my spine. Is there something wrong? Here, let me. Hands off, asshole. Potence twists his wrist. I grab his wrist in a tight grip and start twisting it until I feel the snap of a dislocated joint. He screams in pain, but fortunately the music drowns it out. As soon as I let go of his hand, he runs for the exit. He stares me down before leaving, and I can't help but sense something worse than fear in his eyes. It makes me feel uncomfortable. It's admitting that asshole didn't strain me enough. An acrid feeling rises in my gut, instantly making me nauseous. I barely make it to the nearest empty lounge before I begin violently throwing up. for a minute straight, I spray the couch with the remains of that wretched cocktail. It's not a pleasant sight. I get a hold of myself as soon as my stomach empties. Shit. Julia, your life has had more than its fair share of avoidable embarrassments. Is it necessary for your own life to follow suit? Time to bail and not look back. Right before I reach the exit, the purple-haired girl from earlier bumps into me once again. This time I know it's not coincidental. Wait, please. She seems startled, but it gives me a pleading look. I saw what you did to that man. Are you one of them? What are you talking about? Who's them? She bares her teeth and taps aside her neck. Oh, I get it. So you are the diva's delight. She blushed innocently. When I just caught her stealing cookies. Yes, it sounds silly, I know, but I thought it would attract some of the, some of your kind. I've always been told I taste good. Would you like to try? She looks at me the same way a junkie who hasn't had his head for a while looks at a syringe. You know too much. There's no way you don't have a patrol or some sort. My eyes tear up again. I do, but maybe I don't. I don't know anymore. He shows up whatever he wants, then disappear for weeks. I don't even know his name. We were supposed to meet here tonight, but I guess he didn't show up. The girl keeps talking now that she has found somebody new to open up to. Any instinct she might have had to remain secretive is gone. Makes you wonder who thought it was a good idea to breach the Masquerade for her. Probably the character I played back in the first game. Before him I used to have a caregiver. She was one of the divas too, but she was exceptional. Noble, I think. She cared about me in a way. She always complimented the way I taste. Would you like to try? She clings to my arm. Like I am Jesus Christ and Kurt Cobain at the same time, descended from heaven exclusively to turn her misery to bliss. I can't help but feel some disdain. Please, I promise you won't be disappointed. I know I won't be. I'm too hungry for that. But I also like to pretend I'm something better than hungry from time to time. Fuck off. You're not going to do well if you keep ignoring the hunger. The hunger gets the better of me, but somehow I don't mind. This is what she wants, isn't it? A quick look around. Nobody's paying attention. Why would they? We're just two random girls who seem to be into each other. I gently grabbed the back of her head and put my lips close to her neck. She visibly trembles with excitement. As I bite down, her body softens. Then I drink, savoring each sip. She really tastes incredible, like an unfulfilled promise. Sweet, sweet innocence. As soon as I am done, she loses her footing, weakened but undoubtedly relieved. I help her sit down on the floor. She smiles at me, joy glinting in her eye. Thank you. I really needed that. My name is... Don't talk, just rest for a while. I leave her alone in this state of bliss. She doesn't seem to mind. It looks like I did the right thing. Right? I leave the booming sounds of the club behind me and get on with my night. Alright. It's about time I had to see Kadir. Mighty kind of him to arrange a meeting in the place that's most convenient for me. Oh, I'm going to use this as the thumbnail for this video, right? This looks better than everything we have seen so far. D'Angelo, Hope, Tamika, Agatha. I suppose that's better than nothing, but no evidence, really? Honestly, it felt as if someone had already cleaned up the most egregious stuff before I arrived. Sounds like the Arnax. I'll definitely try and check that place again, but I feel I need some sort of expert to accompany me, an advanced investigator who would show me the ropes. Someone tall and handsome, maybe. Yeah, if you don't mind a diplomatic incident, I'll go with you. Any better ideas? Actually, this very note gave me one, but I'll need to set it up first. I will get back to you about that. You know these people? I've had passing contact with each of them. Part and parcel of the job, you know? I suppose so. Can you help me out with this? The way I would tackle it would be look at one person on the list every night, ask around about them, and see what they know if you do manage to meet them. If I manage to meet them. They're not particularly easy to get a hold of. Always prefer to be a little off the grid, but nowadays they're all practically in hiding, if not MIA or dead. Funny coincidence? It is not my job to speculate. In other words, he knows something, but is not at liberty to say. Guess I'll find out anyway, if I do meet them. And why? One night each. Shouldn't I investigate every loose thread until we're satisfied? In a perfect world, you would have all the time you needed, but this is not a perfect world. They will try to brute force a solution to the case as soon as possible. I suspect that 4 nights from now, once the celebrations of power are over, they will ask for your findings, and that will be all. Fuck up. To be brutally honest, my focus wouldn't be on solving the murder. Instead, I would focus on not embarrassing yourself. Fuck up. This is part of why I didn't want you to get involved. You couldn't possibly think Arthur had you involved out of the goodness of his heart. The entirety of your investigation is just for show. You were meant to be an unwitting actor. If it wasn't for the loyalty I feel toward Kadir Samira and my side, God knows the memory of my embrace still holds too much sway on me. I would have plotted a vendetta against these assholes long ago. But let's be frank, even if I thought that line to Mia about being sympathetic to the New York City honors yesterday could benefit me, I still probably wouldn't do it. It would feel like betrayal. There's something about the Camarera's ideals that still ring true to me, a belief in individual excellence and nobility, or the way time-tested traditions can crown us in this terrifying new existence. But being on the receiving end of this shitty neo-feudal structure and seeing firsthand how the elites always play by their own rules, regardless, I can't help but think there must be something better out there. The kind of Camarilla that would actually deserve slavish loyalty from kindred like Kadir. A penny for your thoughts. I take a draft of my cigarette. That's just a Camarilla, no? After the last few months of hazing, I didn't expect a random act of kindness. This kind of bullshit is, well, just how the Camarilla works, isn't it? More often than it is necessary, I would say, but this time it's a risky play. In my experience, if one simply displays some cunning, they can unexpectedly turn a situation like this to their advantage. Part of the court assumes you are unable to surprise them in this regard. But if you do, by the end of this investigation, you might as well pull yourself out of the ditch you're in. That'll be a night to remember, so, where should I go first? You should go with me. As it happens, I'm only out here because I was ordered to drive Aisling to the art hub. And guess the name of her protege. Ooh, so that's who Agathon is. Or worse, nobody knows. It's a complicated thing, you'll see. I'm on the clock, so let's get a move on. Lead the way, big bad wolf. Still not done with this bit? Not while it's still bothering you. I'm leaving you behind if you don't keep up. As I already told Kadir, and numerous times at that, I have no idea what happened with Agathon. The Broadway Chantry, part of the Chantry of the 5 Boroughs, is Aisling's usual hangout place these past few nights. She's in a hurry and not willing to talk. Do you have any idea about his connection to kindred, going by the names of Tamika, D'Angelo, and Hope? I don't. I made it a point to keep our relationship strictly professional. one and never meddle in his personal affairs. Unless they influence our work, that is, but it only happened one time. Ah, yes, the infamous Juno case. Oh! I'm pretty sure this Juno case is about helping Juno escape or something. Back in the first game, yes, all the events there. It's been a while, maybe about 6 months earlier. The name still rings some memories in me, but I can't remember the details. Was there any conflict between you two? Were there any signs he's leaving? About the Juno? Could that Juno case be the reason he's missing? I seriously doubt it, but for many reasons. I think the boss lost his appetite for studying blood magic and set out to do a little soul searching. It was quite rude of him not to give me a proper warning before he departed. Still, this line of work is not particularly favored by folks with a perfect grasp of Masquerade. I do hope his search will bring him back right where he started, begging me to take him back in. The boy is talented, and I did put a lot of time into mentoring him. If it doesn't, well, Kate, Sarah, no skin off my back. I'm pretty sure I know what this means. Something like what comes right, or something. What goes by, something like that. I don't remember. So you won't even entertain a possibility that he found himself in harm's way. I know an answer to that one. I research her mindset. She doesn't think it's worth considering the worst case scenario seriously and just takes things as they come. What the fuck am I doing here? No, I was just... Oh, I clicked on the wrong ad. Wait for me a little bit. Precisely. If, for example, climate change scientists didn't operate this way, most would have put a bullet in their own head long ago. That's a cheery thought. I would like to search the Chantry for Agathan's whereabouts. Our good sheriff already did that long ago. You'll just be wasting your time and hours for that matter. Didn't you say Helen was waiting for us, Kadir? What is this? Give the girl 15 minutes, Aisling. A minimal support for an ongoing investigation. And besides, she has a proclivity for finding things everyone else has overlooked. Alright, I have to stop recording. I'll be back real soon. Alright, I'm back. I think I have already done this, right? 10 minutes, and if you attempt to pass this door or that one up there, I can't guarantee you will walk out of here alive. Thank you very much, High Origin. Just get on with it. My time here is practically up, and I found nothing of use. It seems Agathan was completely dedicated to his work, even his personal quarters. As barren as it gets, no personal touch whatsoever, nothing I could go by. It's all research. It seems like such a bore. Focus, Julia. What would you do if you were a warlock or Catholic? Where would you leave your clues? Why would you leave clues to your whereabouts? What would you do if you found yourself in mortal danger and wanted Dakota to know? Ace loose. What's that? Yeah. It was facing this way, huh? I approached the place where I saw the shadowy silhouette appear. It's a brick wall and one of the bricks is loose. Kadir and Aisling are in another room right now, still discussing the party. It's not that bad. You ought to learn how to find humor in the little things. It's demeaning, Sheriff. That's all there is to it. It's time. I work the brick loose until I can grip it. Then I tap it silently as possible, revealing a hole in the wall. Inside there's a book. I browse through it quickly. Agatha's diary. That is a bingo. Your 10 minutes are up, so are your 15 minutes in fact. Are you done here? If I could just get 5 more minutes, I still feel like I could stumble upon something here if I just look a little more. No way, Julia, time to go. Fine. I put the brick back and take the diary with me. It did look like Agatha left it so that someone in the chantry would find it, presumably the higher region. But my investigation takes priority for now. I bid Cadian Aisling adieu and start looking for a secluded place to read the diary. This place right here should be secluded enough for me to browse through the diary in peace. I start quickly skimming the book, singling out a sentence and paragraphs that look interesting, trying to get a general idea of what kind of person Agatha was. Oh yes, I hope. The more I read, the clearer the image of the person becomes. He's been working under the higher agent for 15 years. There's an underlying shame in the way he talks about Chimera magic. He always described himself as too slow on the uptake, too late to learn something, too much of an amateur. He was really into tying his self-worth to his wisdom. The entries, the beginning in 2012, terrifyingly regular. The handwriting is extraordinarily neat. The author's absolute dedication to his studies is palpable. If there's anything to his own life besides his work, it's his relationship with the 3 important women he holds dear. The first is his master, Aisling Sturbridge, whom he reveres for her knowledge, stoicism, and willingness to experiment. I was hoping to find some details about her secretive work here, but no dice. Looks like he was willing to risk someone finding all about his inner life, but not anything that could harm her studies. A good pupil, serving a good mentor. I'm jealous. The second is another warlock, his ex-lover Juno, whom he feels guilty about. They had a conflict in which Aisling was involved. Having to choose between the two, he chose Aisling. According to Agatha, there was never really love between him and Juno. First, it was just shared interest, then a growing disconnect, and ultimately guilt which made him feel responsible for her. But maybe it's just excuse. He strikes me as the kind of person who spends most of his time inside his head. Doesn't sound like someone you could have a fulfilling romance with. Dakota, at one time in high school, don't drown it. Let me see with this one. I know what you're doing, Julia, but this is not a rabbit hole you want to be stuck in right now. Keep reading. Yeah, I misclicked that. I want to see what happened in high school. Oh well. Maybe this is the best choice series. Anyway, last but not least, Agatha's mortal grandmother, Sylvia. She is the light of his life and the person who took care of him after his parents died in a ritual murder. Not quite what I expected. Yeah, we have seen this, Pat. I mean, I have seen it. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it. I don't know. Not many people have the patience to see someone, watch someone, read all the text and everything. They don't even bother thinking, imagine what's going on anymore. They just want to see things moving. They don't want to use their brains anymore. Her family used to serve a cruel vampire in Mexico City, and it was retribution for the escape. She was the lead Chimera, used to track him down actually. It was keeping her alive for a long time, but a few months ago, her heart gave up. Agatha blamed his insufficient skills. The kind of man who carries the entire world on his shoulders. Left alone with Aisling, He drowned himself in work and eventually burned out, but it doesn't sound like Sylvia's death was the only event that triggered his depression spiral. There was some kind of incident back in 2019. He doesn't cite specifics. Another thing he was worried about writing down. It's all vague mentions of a person who made him fly too close to the sun. Whatever happened, it had the same effect as his grandma's death. New York stopped feeling like a home to him. It became alien, empty, grotesque. His words. I checked the first page. There's a recent photograph of him glued to the inner side of the cover. He's facing away from the mirror, only showing his profile, and striking a rather dramatic pose. At first, it looks kinda poserish to me. However, upon closer inspection, it seems like a goodbye photo. The final melancholic glance he throws in your direction before disappearing for good. There's also a single black feather. No idea what it means. Something's written next to the photograph with a lot of flourish. It looks like a poem. More than annoyed, sad. More than sad, unhappy. More than unhappy, suffering. More than suffering, abandoned. More than abandoned, alone in the world. More than alone, exile. More than exile, dead. More than dead, forgotten. The Sedative, 17, oh God, by Marie Laurencin. Looks like he wrote it down recently. It might have resonated with his emotional state over the past few months. Most importantly, it seems to confirm his intent with this diary to me. The general idea seems to be his research will outlive him, so he doesn't even detail it. Still, he wanted some kind of tangible memory of who he was left for posterity. But that's not all. There's still a mystery to be solved. Quite a few of the page toward the end are missing, but it doesn't look like they were necessarily removed to redact information. They were torn off in a way that makes it clear the paper wasn't ever used. What's more, the preceding pages are empty as well. Could it be that that's when it happens again? I noticed a bizarre shape in my peripheral vision. Bleed. I turned to catch a glimpse as fast as possible, but it's already gone. If my heart could beat faster right now, it would be jumping out of my chest. It's discomforting. I've been seeing these apparitions ever since I turned into this. The worst part is, I feel they were always there, even as a mortal. They was there sometimes in the corner of my eye, disappearing when I tried to look directly at them, making me think it was just my mind playing tricks on me. Okay, you have the... Wait, I saw some shadows moving over there. And then this thing pop up again. Maybe you have the abilities to see ghosts or something. But when you are part of the Night Clan, there are times they don't disappear. There are times they talk. There are times they try to force you to do their bidding. And worst of all, no, I don't want to think about it right now. Still, in my experience, they aren't exactly, I don't know, consciously malevolent. This one, in particular, was trying to help. I opened the book on the first empty page and look around to make sure nobody's staring. Then I cut myself using a razor, and I keep in my pocket just in case. It's not a deep slice. I just want to let a droplet of tar fall onto the page. That's when the letters appear. Look at me. What? Clown. No longer confident that any of my people can be trusted, I turn to a Camarilla, speak last. At that, Agathon, as above, So below. Reserve contempt. What are you waiting for, boy? Laugh at me. Ridicule is all I deserve. Oh, somehow I can make it out of that with those first two words. I have no idea what they are. Come on, don't just stand there like an idiot. You want to say something? Say it. What the hell? This is the last thing I expected to happen. This diary is haunted. A series of quickly changing sentences and images composed of shadows and blood give me a window into another reality. It's not an objective view. It's like scattered remnants of emotions, similar to a half-remembered dream, full of holes, but an honest expression of one's mind. Might be interacting with me. It's just hypothesis, but I don't know why else it would show me Callahan. And what's that? Ellis Island? Right. This time I don't even look in its direction. The voice makes me feel oddly confident about what I need to do. I pick up the feather that was in the diary and dip it in my vitar. Then I write down compassion, confusions, contempt. Maybe confusion? Contempt? Yeah. Let's try contempt. You sold out your ideals long ago. Old man, you are a shithead, a coward, a bigot, a failed leader, hated by everyone serving you. Of course I have nothing but contempt for you. Ha 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 ha, good. Finally some honesty. Now we can talk to each other like equals. It doesn't feel like this is the way these events took place. It's more like a way to explore Agatha's emotional truth about the way it all unfolded. In any case, the diary is reacting to me, and some shade of the truth is better than nothing. It's a handy tool, and if I use it right, I might find some clues that could aid me in my investigation. There are a few thoughts floating around my head like alien entities trying to make their way out. Is that also an effect of the diary's power? Let's try it. Death, destiny, dream. I want to see death. Is it fear of death that drove you to contact me? Don't be ridiculous. I've been ready to die since before you even came out of your mama's womb, boy. No, I fear something worse. So when you heard about their plot, yes, I wasn't afraid it would fail and leave me for final death. I was afraid it would succeed. God damn it, what are the two of you talking about? Why did you meet? Endure. Well, let's talk about Ellis Island. Why did you pick this place to meet anyway? It's secluded, and there's something in the air here that makes all the blood magic go haywire, which is especially important. Because of me? You're still afraid I might be the part of the experiment? No, because of that devil woman. Blood running cold. All those scribblings disappear and another set starts taking their place. The diary conjures an image of a completely different place. I instantly get a feeling of deja vu. I process the space differently. The atmosphere is different, more familiar, homely. But this is unmistakably the Chimera Chantry I visited earlier tonight. And standing there is just the person I would expect. Looks like that's it for my meeting with Callahan. God damn it. But what if the person who was talking about and eliciting a strong emotional reaction from was Aisling? The diary awaits my next command. Why, when, who? Who? Hi, region. Who? What is this? Naive questions. I make it a point to have as few strings attached to me as possible. The few I have kept because of the benefits they offer should be painfully obvious to you, I guess. I don't feel comfortable being a part of this at all. I always thought we were busy with science, not politics. These are the words of a child, Agatha. Science has always relied on politics, and politics on science. Not like this high region. Don't embarrass me, Agatha. Not like this. The moving scribblings disappear again. I hastily let another drop of blood fall on the page. What appears this time is yet another familiar face. Ah, yes, Agathon. What is that you wanted to tell me? You goddamn rat. I beg your pardon? The harpy vanished. Yeah, right, as if I could ever gather courage to say this to your face. But the least I can do is try and stab you in the back. The diary ends here. I spill a little more of the tar on the page, but it no longer works. I suppose that's it. Still no idea what happened to Agathon. Is it alive or is it dead? Maybe Dakota is right. I've been a glass half empty basket too often. Let's hope for a different ending. Alright, the guy might be dead right now as we're talking. Because, yeah, what the hell was he doing with Thomas Arturo? That mastermind. Nothing good can ever come out with meeting that guy. I will brace for the worst, but hope for the best. The way he left his diary for someone to carry on his work, the hints he's strategically left inside, he's got this all planned out, no doubt about it. I choose to believe I will see him again one night. Maybe I will even compliment that jacket he has. What about the trait I have? Glass half full. Loyal to the end. Glass half full. Okay. In any case, I think it's time to pay a visit to the art hall. I know Arturo tends to leave the Elysium quite often to take in some fresh air and message people on his BlackBerry. So just wait until I see him. The tactic works. He's surprised to see me. Miss Sawinski, shouldn't you be busy with your investigation? I am actually, which is why I have come to see you. That's peculiar because I'm absolutely sure I have nothing to do with this case. Aren't you barking up the wrong tree? That's what I'm here to find out. I assume you would want to see. I'm thorough. Yes, sure, I suppose it's commendable. What is it then? I have reasons to believe that in the last few months you, the High Regent, Aislinn Sturbridge and her child, Agathon, were involved in a secretive scheme. His expressions change over so imperceptibly, but the difference is palpable to me. For the first time ever, he looks at me as a person. Up until now, I was just an amusing divergence. Now I'm something more, and he doesn't like it. What gave you this idea? I'm not at liberty to say. If you really want to know, ask the sheriff. Of course, Kadir doesn't know anything, but he's the only one in the court that Arturo has repeatedly failed to influence. He will think twice before approaching him. I fail to see how this matter relates to the task at hand. I have every reason to think Baron Kelly was involved in that. He might have had grounds to fear for his life because of the said scheme. He is tense now. Do I have the upper hand? Mr. Winsky, please answer the question. The delicate matter you're speaking of has absolutely nothing to do with Baron Kelly's grim fate. Is strictly confidential affair. It would be wise of you to stop pursuing it. It would be wise for you to fuck off. I can't be an investigator if I'm not allowed to properly investigate. This matter is unrelated to your work and should be treated as such. I am 100% convinced Prince Panther would agree. If you insist on pursuing it further, we can take it up to the prince and see if her stance differs from mine. But I think you are as naive as to waste your time this way, and besides, she would certainly want you to present the basis for your discovery to the court. Could you handle it? I have no response. God damn it, this is his revenge for invoking Kadir, isn't it? I thought so. Is the High Regent inside? She is, but don't worry, I'll make sure to tell her not to waste your precious time, Mr. Winsky. So that's how you're gonna play it, you bastard. Well, I guess you win this round, Lestrade. A strategic retreat is my only choice here. I don't have a full deck of cards yet, but just you wait in a few nights. I'll take my leave then. Yes, do that, and if I may be so blunt, focus on the investigation avenues that aren't utterly embezzling and suicidal to pursue, miss. I bid you adieu. I curse him out under my breath as it disappears inside the art hole. Guess this avenue really is cut off for me, at least for now. 3 names left on the list. I still have some leads to go by, but for now, it's getting late. I should go to St. Patrick's and file my latest report. When I reach the cathedral, Father Leonard is already there. He's not exactly the most punctual person, so I always feel relieved to see him from afar. Time to move in and move out before I'm noticed by Benoit. Will this be all? I guess so. I rattle off most of it in a hurry on the way here. I will come up with a more exhaustive report tomorrow night. BC? Looks that way, Father. Our wayward girl has finally been recognized by her superiors. Here we go again. Of course, he had to sneak up on me. If even you heard about that, I guess that means every single kindred in the 5 boroughs knows. I know you're an expert when it comes to knowing who's saying what and where. But the last time we met, you promised to share that knowledge with me. Yeah, I was kind of lying. That's the 9th commandment broken, Father. Shouldn't you scold her? Don't involve me in your silly games, Benoit. The way you fall for obvious lies stems from your biggest failing in communication. And that is, you only pay attention to the what that's being said and not the how. That's booyah, motherfucker. Suck it. Annihilated with an absolutely flawless diagnosis. Child, don't make me regret siding with you. I'm sorry, Father. What happened again? Especially if you promised to keep verbally destroying that clown. You're in a strange mood tonight, child. Go get some sleep. Yes, we'll continue this tomorrow. I'm not showing up here tomorrow. Yes, you are. Stop breaking the 9th commandment. See you around, Julia. He says my name in a sickly, sweet way that gives me the creeps. I bow to Father Leonard. Do my best to ignore Benoit and head for Dakota's place. Finally, my haven. Hey, another tough night? You don't know the half of it. You want a drink? She points to her neck. I manage to summon a faint smile. I would love to, but you know we can't do this too often. Maybe tomorrow. You want to talk then? Yeah, guess so. Just not about work, okay? I sit down next to her. Not about work, got it. What's on your mind then? The past, I guess. Meaning? How spotty our memories are, and how despite that, that's what we build our convictions on. Sorry, it's so banal. I'm just tired and frustrated. Well, let's talk about something more specific then. What do you remember about the time we first met? The time we first met? Yeah. Shit, not a lot actually. Those were gloomy, anxious days. I think I subconsciously replaced most of them with blank space. I remember you trying to paint your hair black. Ouch, don't dig up my trauma now, okay? I remember that when we first talked, we talked about houses. Don't say houses, it's low-key racist, I think. Nobody ever knows what you mean by house. Ah, that show with the asshole doctor. Oh no, the Japanese haunted house horror theme that feels like it was written by a 7-year-old with ADHD. In the best way. In the best way, huh? Duh. We were arguing which characters from the movie both of us are. You were Kung Fu and I ended up as Prof, which was rude. You were dressed up like a total nerd. Not my fault. What was the deal with that suit? I like that suit. Yeah, it was okay. I remember helping you out with graphic design whenever you needed it. Funny, I remember you needing help with writing is something that tended to happen far more often. Yeah, we developed a fun shared aesthetic with similar surface concerns, and it bonded us together even more before we made sure we were fully compatible deep down as human beings. Hell, I'm still not sure we are, especially now with me not being a human being anymore. But hey, at least we both agree that this bedroom feels super comfy. I remember always feeling left out of your social circles. Always knocking at the door from the outside. Oh, forget it, my social circles were full of out of touch, snobby assholes. Yeah, but it felt weird how much they avoided me, and there was that one time with Isabella. All of a sudden, one thing Isabella said at that one party flashed in my mind with startling clarity. After midnight, in that kitchen, without context, she just walked up to me and... She will isolate you. She will suck you dry. And she will move on to the next target. That's the only thing she knows. Don't remind me of Isabella. She always resented me. It's been so long. And it's all baseless conjecture now, but what if she really did isolate me on purpose back then? Nah, the glass is half full. The past is Schrodinger's cat and all that. Better to believe in the positive version of events. Come to think of it, friend or foe, if you don't believe they are on your side, they won't know it one way or the other. And then it's 100% certain they won't be on your side. Maybe optimism really is the way. Yeah, forget Isabella. Let's just drop this talk. I'm frustrated enough. I need a reset. Sounds like a good idea. Off to sleep? Yeah, gotta get ready to go back to hell tomorrow. Alright, I get back to work. You're working remotely again? Yeah, my office is going insane for so many reasons. And I'm getting cabin fever too. Get some sun. It'll be good for you. Lucas talking. Good night, sunshine. Good night. Can I do something here? Nope. You need to rest, of course. A new day, this thing passed. A few minutes after I wake up, I see a message slip under the apartment front door. Kadir? Yep, looks like it's got a short window to meet me in Queens a few hours from now. Will's point, a single suggestions. Get ready for action. Fine then, best way to do would be to clear my mind, just walk without thinking. Reset the framework, some fresh air should do it. Maybe a chance meeting with someone could get me out of this mental rut. Let me look at the world from a different angle for a while and improve my mood. Although when it comes to improving one's mood, nothing beats some crimson red pouring down my throat. Not to mention these cigarettes taste best with a full stomach. Let's go. Who are we going to see this time? Hide and seek for dummies. I'm being told. The last thing I need right now is a way to stop my phone from every step. Let's take this investigation too far down the rabbit hole. That's my table. There's no place like home, and I need a little peace. Baked beef burger, here I come. Wait, who is this loon? Yeah, I'm more interested in this one. As for the stalker, yeah, fuck that guy. And again, I find myself at the entrance to my sanctuary. Current vibe. Not exactly an embodiment of joy de vivre. Maybe, I don't know what the phrase means. But unburdened by my usual self-loathing. All in all, a pretty decent frame of mind. Beware, Big B Burger. Something wicked this way coming. And poof. Just like that, my mood is ruined. All it took was a single step through the door. God damn, what is going on with this thing? Some swivel eye loon took my seat. Her legs are crossed over the table. Dirty shoes staining my chipboard altar. Oh, come on. Her clothing style is obviously meant to look eccentric and patchwork, but comes off as tragically derelict. There's nothing coincidental in her table choice, and it's not just because there's plenty of free spots tonight. She ogles me with those beady little eyes, daring me to come and try her. I give the guy the till. Benny, I think his name was. A quick glance, no response, unsurprising. He's a veteran, he knows better than to get involved. It is supposed to be a message? Long shot. But a reminder of the camera's watchful eye, maybe. Everything about this lady, her hairstyle, her mannerisms, lipstick smear nowhere near her actual lips, screams lunatic. I'm not the type that fights tooth and nail to get the other bats out of her cave. But I'm not just going to back down for no good reason either. I quietly take a seat right in front of her and wait. Yeah, you crazy hair widow hag, I can be patient too. We spend the next 5 minutes in silence. She just sits there and glares at me without blinking once. Another few minutes go by, dragging on indefinitely. She chewing some red bubble gum with a wide-eyed grin that makes Jack Nicholson's trademark smirk look like Mr. Roger's beaming smile. Not gonna lie, that munching is getting on my nerves. Engage in a staring contest. Tell her to get lost. Keep your cool. I'm perfectly aware all this theatrically serves only one purpose: to get under my skin, make me act against my better judgment. It's surprisingly effective, I will give her that. But I'm not an idiot, I would just take the chill pill, try my best to remain in control. She uncrossed her legs in a strangely seductive motion. In her mind's eye, it probably looked like Sharon Stone in Basic Instinct, but in reality, it had all the grace of a trash chute slap squatting. It seems we're gonna be here a while longer. I pull out a cigarette from my crumbled package and light it casually, as if I wasn't bothered at all by the invader. Before I can take a single puff, the nut job snatched the cigarette out of my mouth. Don't mind if I do. Who do you? She cuts me off mid-sentence. Shh, no talking. You need to get back to your happy place. I try to hold the impetus to rip her face off. She picks up after a few seconds. I don't like you. I don't hate you either. Not yet, at least. Shush. I'm a good judge of character, but yours still eludes me. Get to the fucking point. She flicks the ash of the cigarette in a fluid motion and takes a long puff. No exhaling, the smoke comes out of her mouth while she speaks, like her intestines caught on fire. My special friend asked me to note your every step, judge your every move, and count your every failure. And believe me, when I started this job, I thought there would be a lot less counting. What is she talking about? Panhead Kadir Tor? She tilts her head in an upsettingly canine, I don't know, manner. Am I supposed to say this word correctly? Canine, maybe? Little girl, I ran all sorts of charts and graphs on you, and they all pointed to the same result. Useless hussy. Can you help your sister out and illuminate me as to what all the fuss is about? Don't wanna help. Come on, if you're a good doggy, you might get a biscuit. As if all that bullshit wasn't enough, she taps my nose like I'm some fucking puppy. Oh no, you didn't. You wanna get nuts? Alright, let's get nuts. Not here, not in front of everyone. Calm the fuck down. In a truly Herculean effort, I restrain myself from smacking her hand aside and going for her throat, despite also pleasantly violent image flashing in my mind. I clench my fist so hard the skin gives into my fingernails, painting the palm of my hand with just a little bit of blood. That loony bitch is clearly savoring the moment, until she is not. As soon as I manage to compose myself, she storms out without looking at me once. A loud slam announced both her departure and the necessity to repair the door for the 100th time or so. I'm still not sure what that was all about, but I swear if I ever meet her again, I don't think I'm going to be half as zen as I was tonight. It's time to get back to work. Yep, those are the bully moves. They will try to get under your skin, throw you off guards, make sure you lose your composures and everything. Don't let them get into your head. I step inside the subway and head for my meeting with Kadir. Oh, for fuck's sake, I thought you were kidding. Nope, I couldn't reach her, but I know for a fact Hope is there. He's pointing in the direction of a double spiral building. And what is she doing there? I understand she's the current leader of the company, acting CAO, to be exact. No. You are pulling my leg. Of all the places in this city, the company that brags about creating IT solutions of the future, always surrounded by rumors of monstrous workers' abuse, all sorts of ethical violations, trading information with governments, and ending the career of a certain promising journalist and professional fuck-up who attempt to investigate them seriously. You might be able to answer both professional and personal questions. Two birds with one stone. I don't get it. Last time I checked, the company belonged to Kara Montgomery. I'm told she quietly took a sabbatical a few months ago, and it sure looks like the kind of sabbatical you don't come back from. Corporate backstabbing? Not a single corporate shark is as good at drawing blood as a patrician kindred. Pretty sure there are bigger powers involved. I thought I unlocked something, but no. I remember I was shocked when I first learned that one of my nemesis back in my old life was a vampire all along. When I realized her position made her untouchable to me, I was beyond mad. Well, whatever happened, it couldn't happen to a nicer person. What about her brother, Jesse? You're asking me? Last I checked, you were the expert in this company. I just handled the basic intel for you, even though I shouldn't even really be here. Yeah, and I hope you realize I am grateful. You better be. So is Hope just another corporate shark? Well, she is the child of Kyle. A theatrical pause. He smiles as he sees me wince. But very much unlike him. He took her in for her particular multifaceted talents related to the internet, knowing he's hopelessly behind the times in that regard. I hear she's been unruly though. Well, unruly is good. I can work with unruly. So you're telling me she might not be a stuck-up startup bitch? Language, as I've told you a few times now, when it comes to the internet, just assume I haven't the slightest idea. I'm getting there myself. I haven't been able to check my email for 5 months. I have no idea what the kids at BBB are talking about most of the time. Oh my god, I might be getting old. Don't worry, the moment you realize you don't give a damn about most facts you would care about years ago, it's a liberating one. Been there, done that at the beginning of the 20th century. Oh. Anyway, you'll probably hear Hope's story straight from the horse's mouth. I don't have much time, so I get straight to the point. You shouldn't be looking at anything in the main building. It's just a front. Ignore it. What you want to do is use the elevators to get to the lowest floor of the building. Psh, I heard stories about the double spiral basement, but I had no idea what to make of them. Every source told me a different rumor. Did any of them tell you a rumor about an army of underground ghouls? No, but I'm all ears. Double Spiral employs an army of ghouls as a cheap workforce. They work and live underground, away from prying eyes, with lesser rights than regular kind employees. Perfect for business. Wow. I'm actually speechless for a second. I had profoundly low expectations at that company, but every time I learn something new about what's going on behind the scenes, I'm still surprised at the level of scambaggery at play. I'll leave the moral judgments to you, expert. In any case, you need to reach room number 507, where the CEO supposedly resides. And then, get Hope to answer your questions. This old-timey flip phone vibrates. Speaking of, if you've got any left for me, it's now or never. I'm needed at the auto now. What's the security? What's the best approach? How should I approach the building? I've told you everything I know. Just do what I do all the time. And that is scout the situation, then decide. Right, I forgot that's what you do all the time. You mean scouting? No, stating the obvious. Shh. The phone vibrates again. Well, that's it for me. Arturo is pestering me to show up at the sign 5 minutes ago. Tell him I kindly suggest he should go fuck himself. Not in 1,000 years. Well, good luck with your mission, soldier. With a mock salute, he disappears inside his car and drives away. Nothing left for me but to head in. Still, I'm anxious. There are two approaches to choose from, and whichever I pick, I will have to stick with it. If I force my way in and assert my authority, bad cop style, that should make an impression. Bad bitch coming in with the entire court behind her back, bluffing her way to victory. Sneaking in and politely asking for cooperation seems like the less disruptive, more me option, but it's not like being me has taken me anywhere thus far. Shit, I kinda wish I was still stuck in my routine where I didn't need to be doing things like developing a personality. Developing. God damn it. Why did I fuck it up? It's not even that hard to say. It's a bit of a coin flip, honestly. But I gotta make a choice here. How do I approach double spiral? Nah, better stay covert. Oh, let me see. Not into a bad cop stitch. Being aggressive is not me. I don't even want to think about the headaches I would have to deal with. The less disruptive I am, the better the chance they won't get pissed off at me. And I do need hope to be cooperative. This good cop approach should pay off eventually. Alright, let's do this. I cloak myself in shadows and let my instinct take over. The lobby isn't well lit, so it's not hard to get behind the lone security guard. He does notice something is wrong with the security cameras and hits the display a few times. But once he's done, I'm already inside an emergency staircase and making the descent. The doors to the deepest floor are locked, but it takes just a bit of brute force, and I'm inside. Hello, double spiral. Thought you wouldn't see me again, huh, assholes? I look around and find an emergency evacuation map. Bullseye. Looks like all the information I need is here. There it is, room 507. Someone comes around. Looks like one of Hope's naughty ghouls is here to sniff around, but I'm already in the shadows. I slink away as she stops, patrolling the corridor, checking if everything's okay. Cameras, body heat sensors, electronic locks, still I'm managing. I remain cautious. Just like Kadir would want me to, but it's surprisingly easy for me to avoid security. Progressing toward room 507 is far easier than expected. I reach the double spiral office where, just like Kadir said, hordes of ghouls are slaving away for the company. Deep learning, spyware, social media manipulation, yada yada. The important thing right now is everyone is staring at their own screen, so it's easy for me to keep sneaking. Aside from the fact she still seems to be on my trail only. Slowed by the fact she is throwing a search, I better pick up the pace. And there it is, the final corridor. Time to announce myself. I slowly walk to the end of the corridor, that is room 507. The door looks harder to take care of than the other ones in this place. Probably won't be able to take care of it the same way it did the others. The door to the office of the current double spiral CEO. This fucking company. I get pissed off, but I'm trying to control it. There's a camera by the door. If she knows what to look for, she can probably see I'm here on her screen. But just to make sure, I knock on the door. Hope, I'm a Camarilla detective and I will need you to answer some questions. Hope, I know you're in there. Open the door. I will not leave until you do. I'm here on the behalf of the Sheriff of New York City. Hope. I keep pounding on the door and calling her name. After a minute or so, a voice rings out in the intercom. Is this thing on? I guess it is. Alright, I got your message loud and clear. I'll meet you in the office. I'll be right there. Looks like you made it past poor Nastia. Get back to the office and keep her company. She's probably beyond pissed off about you eluding her grasp, but don't make it a big deal, alright? Thank you for your cooperation. I'll be right there. What's up? Yep. It's been a while, I hope. I still remember you. On the one hand, clothes you could reasonably expect to find in any sales wardrobe. On the other, a body covered in tattoos, flashy jewelry, dyed hair, and white makeup. The thought that she might be yet another seal playing the non-conformist crossed my mind, but she strikes me as someone who's not more than happy to live in her own little bubble. Still, I won't be fooled. She is the boss of Double Spiral. So, how do you find me? Sheriff Kadir Al-Asman did. You would have to ask him. I take out a new cigarette without thinking. You can't smoke in here, lady. Just let her. Don't treat me like I'm your enemy. I come in peace. A deep, relaxing drag. So when did you realize I was here? Right at the start, there was a momentary laser malfunction. Lasted a second or two. Hasn't tripped an alarm, but I guess something was off. That's it? Hunch. Have gotten me every job I have ever had. Hunch. Saved my life. Anytime I got into a messy situation. These days, the reality is too complicated to rely on anything else. Can't find a better head of security than our Nastia and her hunch. That's the main reason why. They're like a sixth sense. Don't I know you from somewhere? I haven't seen you from somewhere. Don't know, a club maybe? Yeah, last year soon after I was embraced, I visited that one club in that refurbished warehouse and you were there. You've got a memorable aura. Yeah, I DJ and help out there from time to time. Gotta show my face if I want to make it beat. And why don't you focus on that? Following that career path doesn't exactly seem compatible with being head of security for Double Spiral. And not just because the necessary skill sets are so different. Nastia looks at Hope. Working at Double Spiral provides a lot of benefit to someone who relies on the internet for promotion, lady. The slow aging is just a nice perk. Love a child, girls, but I would love it if you save it for later. I'm CIO now. I have a lot of duties I must pretend to handle. I just need to ask you a few questions. Sure, yeah. Call me if you need me. I've got a weird hunch about this one too. Don't worry, I disappear as quietly as I arrive. Yeah, I prefer to be sure that you left, lady, so that I can report it to my boss. We'll talk security later. Don't worry, this shit happens. For now, take 5. Nastia leaves, and I'm left alone with Hope in the corner of the office. It feels funny to stand here in front of you. Oh, and why is that? You people had me fired from my job before I was embraced. Ah, I see. You are that Sawinski girl from Modesta. Yeah. Somehow I never put 2 and 2 together. So you're the La Sombra rep for the city now, huh? As she's talking to me, she keeps tapping at her phone with terrifying speed. I don't feel like I have a full focus, and it's getting on my nerves. Just so you know, I have no idea why you have taken Kara Montgomery's place, and I doubt you will tell me. But the bitch deserves to burn in hell. Hell yeah, she does. Wait, did you just admit? Hold your horses now, Jesus. This is why normal CEOs pay for PRPO people to talk for them. I only agree that she's a horrible person in every way that counts. Nothing more. Does she know that's what you think of her? Why did she let you take her position in the first place? What? I would just cut through the bullshit, okay, Miss Lodesta? I guess this is about Jesse and Kara covering his creepy ass. You have spent months on this game and you would like some closure. Pretty much. Well, here's your closure. Double Spear has severe, practically all ties with them. They don't work here. They get no company money. They probably won't ever show up here again. The company's not their circus anymore and the workers are not their monkeys. I'm in charge now. So yeah, if there's anything you'd like from me, I'm all ears. It wasn't just Jesse and his sister. This company has ingrained structures of abuse and immoral. I've ordered internal investigations and audits. Everyone related to those illicit activities was disciplined. Legal actions, firings, and rebukes, all depending on the severity of their misdemeanors. I don't have a stomach for all of that creepy corporate shit, so I'm trying to steer the ship in the right direction. Don't know what else I can tell you. For fuck's sake, no matter how I look at it, seems like she has done everything I hope to achieve. The Montgomery clan is over. The Queen bitch, a symbol of everything that's wrong with tech CEO, is gone. Jesse, that perverted, embezzling son of a bitch, is gone. I should be glad, so why is there a sinking pit in my stomach? So that's capitalism, huh? Is it? I think it's something worse. When I look at the online world, I don't see capital ruling us. I only see incomprehensible vectors, unknown entities constantly opening and closing various markets of information. This is something worse than what familiar 20th century terminology taught us. I just don't know what it is, but it's terrifying, and it will continue until we give it a name. But you look like you need emotional support, not my depressing philosophizing. Well, shit sucks, and I'm sorry. The biggest case in my professional life, solved by some weirdo who fucked Kara and Jesse over in presumably underhanded ways. It doesn't get more anticlimactic than this. Fucking hell. I want to ask her how she did it, but why would she tell me? All I can guess is she's an outcast who decided to get her hands dirty and obtain power to do something she considered good. Something I've always been afraid to do. Anyway, I feel for you, but I have a lot of work to do, so if this wasn't just a trip down memory lane and you have any other questions, speak now or forever hold your peace, alright? I feel like a car just ran me over, but I need to keep my shit together. Alright, a few days ago, the honor bearer was found dead in his office. Are you familiar with the case? Douglas Callan. Of course I'm familiar. Every kindred online is talking about it. And what are they saying? They're accusing everyone. I mean, it is the internet. Are they accusing you? Why would they do that? I found a peculiar note in Callan's remains. It had your name on it. Huh. What can you say about this? Nothing. I never met the guy. I have never even seen him. He wasn't my crowd. Then why would he have a note with your name in his pocket? Why were Walt Disney's last written words? Kurt Russell's? No clue. I watched her closely, but nothing suggests she is hiding anything. Or the note actually contained 3 other names, and nothing else. Agatha, D'Angelo, Tamika. Ringing any bells now? Wait a fucking second. Now that I think about it, yeah, those are the names of the people I kind of interact with. Back when I played the first game, D'Angelo is that detective, right? Tamika, is that girl? I helped her out. Her brother got killed in the process. We were being hunted by the vampire hunters. Alright, everything. And yes, the main character I played there also me. Hope. Her finger, which hasn't stopped moving across the phone touchscreen since I first saw her freeze. Yeah, it kinda does actually. It's a short list of promising unaffiliated kindred that was making the rounds in NYC a few months ago. In case anyone needed a hero for hire. I didn't know Callan had it. I know Sophie Langley did, as well as a few Primogen. Not sure about the Anarchs. Sophie is gone. Sophie met her final death. Who could have prepared this list? One of the local information brokers. A short but telling pause. Anonymous. How anonymous? Shut up, anonymous. She's obviously conflicted about whether she should tell me, or maybe she's pretending so that I want it out of her. I've been a good sport ever since I walked through her door. Maybe appealing to her sense of morality, but what? I really need your help. I want to prevent the tensions between the local anarchs and the court from escalating, and every lead helps. She briefly considers her options, then gives up. It's my sire, Carter van der Weyden. Oh, he's brokering information. Everyone knows becoming the Prince of New York is his ultimate goal, and that he wants to make friends in all the high places. Sharing useful intel is a pretty effective way to achieve that. So you're telling me that he, a Markavian Primogen, sold this list to an honor baron? Sure looks like it. Why would he suggest his own child to somebody? To have a person on the inside, just another way to further his information web? Wouldn't they realize you two are close? The story going around is he left me alone and I hate his guts. Well, at least half of that is true. She's talkative, probably sees me as a way to undermine Carter. Let's see how much further I can push her. I was wondering how someone like you could control a company like Double Spiral. I suppose a friend in high place would explain it. Yeah, lucky me. Not happy about ruining Cara Montgomery? I know I would be on cloud 9 if I did that. Oh, I was beyond happy. It was just that it's something different now. She stares at dozens of displays on the wall in front of her. Do you remember the Y2K era internet? Jesus, I barely remember the internet at all. My people can't really use it. But yeah, I guess I sort of remember forums, GeoCities, browse the walls, all those handmade amateurs web pages. It was a golden age. Everyone was welcome to freely express their creativity and obsessions in this abstract new frontier. No formulated rules. Every side was a distinct new universe to explore. You know, as a kid, for some reason I kept saying every web page, kept saving web page that moved or changed me in some way. I don't even know I did it. But today, a folder with these is one of my greatest treasures. Fast forward to today, I'm the boss of a company that has one overarching goal: steer the online narrative in every possible way that benefits the Camarilla. And because the online world is so fucked right now, I can do it using only 5 websites or so. Every day I deploy thousands of believable soft puppets to force some beliefs on the masses. Right now they're being managed by these schools. Soon they will be partially managed by AI. Basically an all-American version of the Chinese 50-cent party. A new pattern of public opinion guidance. Ever since I was a teen, I've pretended to be different people online for fun. Aping the posting patterns of others was something I turned out to be horrifyingly good at it. I became even better at it after the inquiry. Something about the voice of Markov in my head after several years. I became a one-person internet empire. I could impersonate anyone. I dream of Tulips, a humble florist from Chattanooga who strives to share positive energy with the audience using photos of beautiful bouquets, motivational quotes, and the occasional The Office gift. Volva Hufflepuff, a single mom from Britain who reckons all these trans women must be bonkers, and spends seemingly every waking moment of her life having a row with anyone who disagrees. Polygon Classics is a 19-year-old kid from Utah who keeps posting Y2K3 renders of poorly proportioned, scantily clad ladies and telling his audience to remember what they took from you. Somehow, this talent got me here. Well, it's no longer fun, but work. Work I usually entrusted to these fools because of all my duties. I want out before my entire fucking mind gets monetized. But Carter won't have that, so I keep doing my best for both him and Devil Spirits investors. So that's why she wants me to look at him. I assume most of your operations focus on New York City. A lot of them, yeah. How do you imitate a New Yorker voice with these sock puppet accounts? Living in Manhattan and being mentally unstable makes this shit easy. To a normal, well-adjusted person from outside the city, everyone here seems mentally unstable. I ever watched that 9/11 Howard Stern show? No. Check it out someday. It's educational. Ask anyone in NYC about it, and they're like, it was a great bonding moment. It was helping us make sense of everything. He kept saying that what we were all thinking. Then you listen to it, and it's everyone yelling that we need to nuke something, maybe the entire world, get rid of all the Muslims, fuck human rights, no investigations, take the all jury. You watch it, you study it, you witness that specific brand of humor in the face of tragedy, and you understand that nothing outside of NYC really exists for the people who live here, or the vampires, or foundational text really. Whenever I need to get in that New York mindset for work, I let it play in the background. Works like a charm. Seriously, give it a shot sometime. Someday I might. For now, I think I will confront Vander Weyden with what you have told me. Or is it what you haven't told me? What's the story? Me? Of course I haven't told you anything. You are such a good investigator. You figure it out by yourself. And if he asks, just tell him Kaiser sold you the info. That should do the trick. I see, thank you. What for? I did nothing. Let Nastia show you out, and if you don't know Vander Weyden's address, just ask him. Thank you for having me, Mr. Vander Weyden. No need, no need. I'd be happy to assist your investigation in whatever way I can, Miss Sawinski. That sickeningly sweet smile, and this office spacious but oppressive. Here's a man who knows how to subtly unnerve people, but does he even realize it? And I'm sure the presence of the esteemed Addison Payne will guarantee I'm totally transparent, am I right, Addison? Looks like I've interrupted a friendly meeting. In the far corner of the room, I spot glasses of blood and two spittoons, vice and follies of the rich. Are you sure I'm not wasting your time? Not at all. Busy as I might be, I can't say I'm not curious about the findings in this case. Yes, my thoughts, exactly. So, how are you handling your newfound responsibilities? I'm managing. I'll start by asking the office, where were you the night Douglas Callahan met his untimely demise? He raised an eyebrow and then let out a restrained chuckle. Hear that, Edison? I might be suspected of foul play. Exciting, isn't it? Carter, no antics please. Just answer the questions. Of course. Well, I was right here, just like I told Prince Panic. As much as I'd love to celebrate my power, sometimes one has to celebrate the amount of work piling up on their desk. So your alibi is you were right here. Alibi? Ha! Yes, I suppose. Can anyone back up your story? Well, I didn't make a few business-related phone calls as I was working, so there's that. That doesn't really answer my questions, does it? He regards me with a stare reserved for a troublesome child. Miss Lewinsky, this right here is my private little fortress. A space specifically designed to make me focus. I don't really let people in to break that focus. Aside from occasional esteemed guests such as yourselves, of course, and a few wonderful Mexican women responsible for the cleaning duties. So you don't have an alibi. The look in his eyes screams, why won't you at least pretend to try and get on board with my program, kid? I suppose, but why would that matter? Because I found something that belongs to you on the victim's person. Pardon me? Took the words right out of my mouth. We're not talking a murder weapon or something of that caliber, of course. No, it was a short list of 4 names. What the fuck is wrong with me? Unaffiliate kindred whose service could be useful to anyone interested in toppling the current power balance in NYC. Tamika, Hope, D'Angelo, Agatha. Excuse me, Mr. Lewinsky, but I'm afraid I don't follow. How is that something that belongs to me? I have it on good authority that's a short list you have been shopping around to anyone interested in NYC, be it the Camarilla or the Onyx. Addison tenses up and his host is not happy about it. This is just preposterous. I'm calling your bluff right here, miss. No, the bluff is coming right now. Mr. Vander Weyden, if you want to voice your concerns about the information I have, how about you voice them to Kaiser, not me? Addison turns to Vander Weyden, clenching his lips and gripping his wheelchair armrest tightly. For a brief moment, the ever-present smile on Vander Weyden's face goes missing, and the expressions that replace it reminds me of a horrifying void, like a sneak peek into what's really going on in his soul. He quickly collects himself, but the image is burned into my retinas. To think these sort of unsavory rumors are circulating around me, I should be grateful you let me know. So you're denying it. Of course I'm denying it. Categorically. You can bet your life savings on it. I certainly hope it is nothing more than an unfortunate blunder. Add to Ruth? Come on, Edison, we've known each other for years. Yes, and what about it? I was sweet Jesus, Edison. I will get back to you in a second. Any more questions, Miss Lewinsky? Any of the names on the list sound familiar to you? No, I mean yes. That is my long exchange trial on your list, but that's just another reason why I am flabbergasted anyone would consider it mine. I see. Well, I hope you understand why I'm considering you a prime suspect now. Yes, and I swear to clear my name as soon as possible. Scouts, honor. Any more questions? I'm good for now. Sheriff's Asmi will probably contact you later. I'll get in touch with him myself, ASAP. Once again, thank you for your work. He extends his hand toward me, practically forcing me to shake it. Then he puts his hand on my shoulder to lead me to the door. All too eager to see me off. Out of sheer curiosity, Mr. Vander Weyden, I have one more question. It may be a bit random. I really didn't need to ask it, but I wanted him to die inside for a moment. Of course, my dear. His slightly strained tone suggests I may have succeeded. You seem like a person who couldn't live outside of NYC. By chance, have you listened to Howard Stern's talk show after the World Trade Center fell? A tad unsure, but once again, carefully controlled chocolate escaped its mouth. Gee, that is random, but well, New York born and raised, just like you said. Of course I did. Your opinion? Same as everyone else. It was the spiritual guidance we needed that day, coming from the unlikeliest of place. A visceral response that verbalized everything we felt. A beautiful moment of unity. Not that I'm into low-bro jokes about Pamela Anderson and the typical shock values the show tended to offer, but as far as I'm concerned, Howard did an indispensable thing that day. Why are you asking? No particular reason. I thought it might give me some insight into the kind of person you are. Well, that's the kind of person I am, just an average New Yorker. So it seems. Well then, I'll leave you and Mr. Payne to your plans of conquering the city. Conquering the... Now that is spicy. Addison, I love this girl. She's gonna go far, I'm telling you. She's got the spunk that gleam in her eye. Goodbye, Miss Lewinsky. I wish you a pleasant respite and a swift success in your investigation. Good night. I make it a point to bow to Edison's servant, not the man himself. Doubt he even noticed, but at least this invisible display of rebellion made me feel a little better about myself. Alright, the faster I leave, the better. Julia, Father, how are you holding up? I'm fine, stumbling around and hoping for a miracle to happen like always. No better place to ask for a miracle than behind these gates, you know? So I hear. As I pass him, the report about Aisling and Agatha, and I look around, but Benoit is nowhere to be seen. Finally, I wonder why is just ignore it. Why is him? Benoit. Where's that clown? You mean Benoit? You're the one who said it, not me. In another parish, taking care of a personal issue for me. Thought you might appreciate that. God, I really do. Listen, can't you think of something to placate him? Placate him? Blah, blah, blah. Placate him? How, exactly? But no, I won't accept anything less than me joining a convent. He's like a worried parent, a basic gesture here and there, showing up in church from time to time and pretending to listen would get him off your case. I mean, I've been through this song and dance before with my own worried parents when I was a teenager, wandering in the forest until Mass was over, not even being able to smoke because they would pick up the scent. Not the best moments of my life, you know, and a part of the reason I'm distancing myself from them. I don't need this fake energy in my life, and I'm honestly weirded out by you asking me to lie. I'm not asking you to lie, Julia. Let me ask you this way. Are you a spiritual person? I guess I am, kind of. Always was. Suddenly being able to see ghosts did not change a thing. I think it's mostly because seeing the world as purely material seemed boring to me somehow. You are and you were raised Catholic, so can't you find a way to express that spirituality in our church? I don't see a way right now. And why is that? Too many people who would think my soul needs to be saved because I live with a woman. For starters, I don't know, there's a lot of reasons. Like the sin of drinking blood every other night, or feeling some primal fear whenever I walk by a clergyman whose face seems to actually be genuine. That one sounds like an excuse. It's about your relationship with God, not other people. In theory, but back in the old country, I have heard my share homilies that felt like complete condemnations of my kind, and none that would condemn hate toward people like me. And you know, when church adjacent people try to stir shit around your very existence every few months, some minimal support would be appreciated. Sorry, all you can count on is silent complicity. I get it, I know there's a lot of work to be done and a lot of undeserved hurt going around, but listen, I don't even want to talk about it. I fucking hate the tone I use when I talk about it. I sound preacher than those preachers, and my biggest dream is just not to give a shit. But I remember things, like this story about a guy from my hometown. Most macho guy around with a jaw you could sharpen a knife on, he became an actor in Warsaw. Very successful, deservedly so. The capital might not be NYC, but it is still a big city, and big cities go to the heads of bumpkins like us. In his case, it resulted in a dream of coming out to his parents. He was surrounded by all these stories of openly queer people played one. Even so, he thought he had a chance at making it work. So he goes back to his town, tells everyone he's gonna live his truth. His dad, a ruling party adjacent businessman, cursing. His uncle takes him into the bushes and starts to destroy him physically. It's so bad. He gets put in the ICU, his face and jaw get ruined for good. Fast forward a year or two with his career over, the guy is stuck in his parents' rustic house with no other path to follow. He turns to God, who tells him to forgive his kin. Everything is fine again. Angelic choirs sings of divine mercy. A kind-looking priest talks about protecting our families. A man sits in the front row of the church. A disfigured smile on his face. But that story alone didn't drive me away. One time, when I saw how blissful he was, I could swear he was actually able to hear God whispering to him. He looked like a saint. It fucked me up so bad I left. I feel nauseated now. Maybe I'm still reeling from hearing about Kara and Jesse Montgomery. Now, if we could never talk about it again, that would be great. I know that I tend to sound like a loser who loves to pontificate about shit I can't change, but at least I keep trying to change myself, damn it. I won't offer empty platitudes, but I think I understand what I was meant to understand. I hope I haven't insulted you in any way. Whatever. I've learned not to hold people responsible for what the rest of their organization is doing. It would be hard looking in the mirror otherwise. Not that there's much I could see in the mirror right now. I'm just wondering about one thing. There's always a cross on your chest. I like how it goes with my outfit. Is it just a fashionable accessory to you? Now it's time for you to be true to yourself, Julia. It's a memento reminding me of a broken promise. That's all. I won't inquire further. Good. Have a good night, Father. I found her sitting in bed, scrolling through Pinterest on her phone. So, how are you doing, detective? I fall on the bed, bury my face in the pillows, and scream. That bad, huh? I don't want to tell about Double Sparrow. I still have to figure out how I feel about it. I'm just not cut out for this. Oh, shut up. If you aren't, who is? Sherlock Holmes, Hercule Poirot, Columbo, Matt Mikkelsen's boyfriend from Hannibal, whatever his name was, I don't know. Someone who can actually put two and two together. You can't fool me into believing you are incompetent, you dumbass. I've read your articles. Don't pretend you suddenly forgot how to do your job. I haven't. But I've got no evidence, no witnesses, no promising leads, nothing. I just stumble around assuming things, talking big. Blah. So you're like, I don't know, Jack Nicholson in Chinatown, and he actually solved his case, and then wish he never took it up. Was that supposed to cheer me up? I'm just saying that the situation you're in sounds an awful lot like Chinatown. Depraved elites, big plans for the city, blah blah blah. Yeah, and that's depressing. It is what it is. I just think you should approach it this way and look for a solution to your problems outside the box. Not a mystery. Maybe like a trap to escape? Oh, maybe. I throw myself on the bed again and lie there for a bit, staring at the ceiling. Then I approach Dakota from behind and tuck her asleep to draw her attention. Psst. Hey. Put the phone away. Now, come on, Jules, we can't do this every night. I've got my own work and I need to worry about anemia. You said so yourself, but I was just looking for inspiration. I rub against her clothes with my face like a cat. You are impossible. Haven't you noticed what's going on in the news? People are going absolutely insane about this virus, canceling trips and orders and... Pretty please. I can't, honey. I have to replenish my stash, and besides, I'm worried about overuse. My brain is working a bit too slow. My balance is off. I was just thinking how I miss meditation. She's giving me clear signals. She just wants an excuse. And even though it would be the responsible thing to do, I know she's insatisfiable. She's usually the one who takes the initiative. Let's try, find a push. I bite her ear and whisper in it. No drugs tonight, let's do this raw. She throws her hands up in the air, victory. Jesus, you're greedy these days. Always have been. Haven't you noticed? Yeah, you need to rest. You can't do anything. Let's just rest. And when it comes to a new day, I think I'll stop recording. Oh, you're up early. Alright, guys, we'll come back next time.